there till about 3:30. And we're already beginning to see some delays beginning to build along the 95 corridor. Looks like the delays start in Greenwich from exit 5 right up through 17 in Norwalk and start to extend as well as you head into downtown Bridgeport. Also seeing a build-up now, 84 eastbound back up here in the Hartford, West Hartford area between 44 and 51. Here's meteorologist Jason Catarina with the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon, sunshine, a few clouds, the high of 34. Tonight, clear and bitterly cold once again, the low dropping down to 11. Over the weekend, starting with Saturday, sunny to partly cloudy, a touch colder, the high of 32. Now Sunday, it'll be breezy with a mix of clouds and sun, the high up to 39, but it'll feel much colder with that breeze throughout the day. Then Monday, partly sunny, still breezy, the high of 35. Will feel like it's in the 20s much of the day with that strong southwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Then on Tuesday, still breezy, lots of clouds, a snow shower in the afternoon. The high up to 40, but feeling well down in the 30s, still with a strong west-southwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Then Wednesday, cloudy and colder, a couple of snow showers around, the high back to 29 and feeling colder with a west wind. Then Thursday, brisk and cold, plenty of sunshine, the high of 23. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, we've been stuck at 32 degrees now for a couple of hours under mostly sunny skies. Dow is down 148 points. The NASDAQ off 121 and the S&P is down 21. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. It's 3:06. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
This health fact brought to you by ProHealth Physicians.
Medical needs can arise unexpectedly. That's why having a trusted primary care provider, or PCP, is so important. Hi, I'm Dr. Monique Martin, a family doctor at ProHealth Physicians in Vernon. For life-threatening conditions, always call 911 or go to the ER right away. But if it's not an emergency, call your doctor's office first. Sometimes it's hard to decide when to seek care. At ProHealth, you can book appointments online or call us anytime, any day. Even after hours, we have nurses here to help guide you. Each day, our PCPs set aside times for urgent visits, and our Express Care team offers in-person and virtual appointments for our patients with common illnesses and injuries. Get the care you need when you need it. Start with ProHealth today.
Connect with the trusted local doctor you just heard from ProHealth Physicians. Call 1-855-CTMD-411 to schedule your first visit with them today. Or visit ProHealthMD.com to learn more about their care, expertise, and services.
They say
1 minute.
the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning
Like so?
language learning app with over 16 million?
Damn, my gambling is about to come to an end.
Thought of you.
This weekend in the Super Bowl, and that's it.
That's it.
She's an artist and
No, basketball. Really? You don't? Is that?
I don't do it until like the playoffs.
Gotcha.
Because
That's better.
they don't even take the regular season serious.
I don't need. Yeah.
You just be wasting your money.
So he
Indeed.
checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent. Keith is sweet. He's a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Ok, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
Wherever
Yeah, 10.
you learn, Babbel is the best choice to break any language barrier. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Hey, yo! Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up loud. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, baby, get ready for the show, folks. It's Reese on the radio on what can only be described as a breaking news Friday, if you can believe that. We have just learned through Truth Social and also through the Epic Times that U.S. Marines have just arrived at the southern border. Marines, ladies and gentlemen, have arrived at the southern border. I don't know. I don't know exactly what that means, other than the fact that, as promised, the President of the United States said he was going to send U.S. troops down to the southern border, and it appears that Marines are there or just landed. So more developments, I guess, will come as they do. I will have to say, thank God for January 20th, because I don't think Friday is going to be a slow news day, at least for the next 4 years. I think this, at least for the first 100 days, there will not be a slow news day. Friday usually is. And I thought about that today. And I remember I said to my wife, in fact, I said, Fridays, I don't think they're going to suck anymore. She goes, yeah, you said Fridays were a slow news day. And I said, yeah, but you have to consider the administration. They're trying their best to not have any news happening over the weekend. And if they do, it's a Saturday or late Friday dump. But this administration, I think, something different. Every day is going to be news. And of course, as you just heard, there are. We also have some other breaking news. You may have heard Morgan Cunningham talking about it as well. So we might as well play the breaking news, break music for that too. Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Leslie Torres Rodriguez, will be stepping down at the end of the school year, which I'm going to say, thank God. We don't know if that's a good thing. It could be a bad thing. The next person we get in could be another Yahoo that's far worse than Dr. Torres Rodriguez. Who knows? But we have some more updates as well. In fact, we got Mark from West Hartford calling in to find out what he's doing, because he's always breaking news stories here and there and not getting any credit, I might add, for breaking some of these stories before the news media ever thinks about covering them. One of the most boring states in the union, and they can't find enough news. But Mark is out there finding news like everywhere he turns. Somebody get him some gas money, because he's driving all over the state. Somebody get him some gas money. We'll talk about that as well. But I want to talk about something I saw today on the CT Capitol report. And there is a such thing as gratuitous reporting. And I'd like to share the headline with you. This is the headline. Apparently, it comes from the University of New Hampshire. Yeah, the University of New Hampshire. It does what's called the Nutmeg State Poll. And this year, the Nutmeg State Poll, here's the headline. Most Connecticut residents unhappy with Trump election expect greater political divisions during his term. Well, tell us something we don't know. New Hampshire University, it's Connecticut. I could have given you this report in my sleep. If you do go to the report and you read it, there's a lot to be said about it. I'm looking at some of them. Let's go through a few here. What is the overall feeling of people in Connecticut about Donald Trump becoming president in the month of January of 2025? So we have 27% of the state is enthusiastic, while 12% are satisfied, rounding that total to 39%. The amount of people who are, let's say, dissatisfied and angry, 39% of them are angry, 14% are dissatisfied. That puts us at about what? 53% of people who are not happy. 53 to 39. 6% are indifferent or neutral. If you look at the overall, just look at the overall, that seems base for the state. Makes sense. Democrats, on the other hand, just polling Democrats, 71% are angry. Angry. 20% are dissatisfied. Now, dissatisfied is a reasonable response. That's from someone who's measured, right? Someone who says, okay, I'm not satisfied with the results because I wanted my person to win. 71% categorize themselves as angry. On the independent side, that number is just 20%. 19% for dissatisfied. For Republicans, let's go just with the dissatisfied. With Republicans, 2% angry, 2% dissatisfied. 63% are enthusiastic, while 30% are satisfied. Now, enthusiastic is a good word as opposed to angry. I didn't even know the two were at odds. Enthusiastic versus angry doesn't make sense to me, but they chose it. I did not. That's what they chose to poll these people. So they go through a whole bunch of other ones. Will the country become more unified or divided during the Trump presidency? Let's go through a couple of those. This one's actually pretty interesting. 80% of Democrats say that it will be more divided. That's a large number of Democrats. Republicans, on the other hand, 53% said it would become more unified. 37% of Republicans said would stay about the same. For Democrats, only 6% said it would stay about the same. Only 9% of Democrats would say more unified. No one is reading this the way that I'm reading it. I'm hoping that you're reading it the way that I am. This is very telling of Democrats in the state, out of those who are polled. If 80% of them believe that the state will become more divided, while 53% of Republicans believe that it would become more unified, who is more hopeful in the state of Connecticut? I believe that these Democrats are telling on themselves. By the way, that's par for the course. Let's go to independents, because people love the independents. 37% of independents say that it would become more divided, while 27% say more unified. 29% say about the same. Like I said, there are some other polls in here breaking down things like, whether or not Donald Trump's policies will actually be implemented. I'll give you another example. Here's a good one. Engage in mass deportations. Overall, probably. With a dab of definitely. In fact, when polled, let me give you that one. That was actually a pretty good poll here. Believe Donald Trump will succeed. Engage in mass deportation of illegal immigrants. 24% say definitely. 43% say probably. 16% say probably not. A very small smattering that is too small to measure said definitely not. And don't think he will try is only 13%. So those were Donald Trump's highest numbers. Let's go all the way to the lowest numbers of what people in Connecticut thought. Make Canada part of the United States. A good joke, I might add. I'm really loving the 51st state stuff online. Too small to measure was definitely, probably, and probably not. 9% said definitely not, and 85% says don't think he will try. Overwhelmingly said don't think he will try. So with the news media going apoplectic at Donald Trump sending these quick little barbs and these quick little nudges to, what's his name? To, I was going to say Julian Assange. You know what I mean? Castro Jr. Sending those little nudges to him while everybody in the news media is losing their minds collectively. People in Connecticut he's just kidding. He's just joking around. Acquire Greenland, that was another one. Those were actually definitely too small to measure. 15% said probably. 8% said probably not. 9% said definitely not. And and 66% said don't think he will try. Again, news media losing their mind. Losing their mind. And most Americans, or at least the people in Connecticut, nah, they don't care. Not interested. Favorability of Donald Trump, 35% in Connecticut. Neutral is 10%. 54% unfavorable. And 1% say, don't know enough to say. At least it's just 1%. I'd love to know who they are, but okay, fine. I'm willing to let that slide. Like, who doesn't know? Now, here's the part that I find amazing. And it goes back to something I said during the gubernatorial election. And I told you this was true, and this polling data proves it. Here's the question. U.S. headed in the right direction or the wrong track after the election of Donald Trump? In Connecticut, this one should blow everybody's mind. Headed in the right direction or wrong direction? The right direction in the state of Connecticut, the number is 15%. In the wrong direction, 73%. Now, how is that possible in the state of Connecticut? How is that even possible? That doesn't make logical sense. Every person in this poll who thinks that after the election of Donald Trump, after the 4 years of Joe Biden, after the leadership of Ned Lamont, that you think that now it's in the wrong direction by a whopping 73%, but it begs to ask, because this is all about Donald Trump. This isn't about the local leadership. You have to ask yourself what they exactly mean by the wrong direction. So I went past all the rest of the other nonsense. I wanted to get to the bare bones of this. And here's where the bare bones are exposed. They went through the gender of the people that were polled in here. So please bear with me because I'm trying to do this in a way that can convey on radio. The gender of the respondents, 49% were women. 49% were men and 51% were women. That overall number is 193 to 200. The age of the respondent, between 18 and 34, 27% of the people were there, meaning 109 folks. Between 35 and 49, 20% of them were polled. That's 90 people. Between 50 and 64, that was 29%, which meant 119 people. And 65 and over, that was 100. And 25% was the rate. So if we're breaking this down, there were more 50 to 64-year-olds that were polled than 65 and older and 18 to 34. So it was 18 to 34 was second. 50 to 60, 18 to 34, and then 65 and older. Now, the level of education, we could go through that, but it really bears nothing. But here's where the polls were conducted. And this will tell you another thing about the state and why I know that this is all nonsense. Here are the regions that they polled: East Connecticut, Fairfield County, Hartford County, Litchfield County, Middlesex, and New Haven. The party ID is also very, very, it's illustrative in this way. They went through Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. Independents were 74 respondents. Republicans were 134 respondents. Democrats were 199. Voting registration, also important. Registered Democrats, 119. No, sorry, 116. I apologize. Registered unenrolled, 134. Guess how many Republicans? 68. 68. 2024 presidential vote. The people that they polled who voted for Trump, 158. Polling those who voted for Harris, 213. Voted for another 2024 candidate, 6. And those who did not vote, 32. No wonder the polling data looks the way that it looks. It's completely skewed. Now, I would have done this straight down the middle, but I know they want to make it, proportion to the amount of people who live in the state. I get it. I understand that. But this is Connecticut. We all know that. But you're going to have to tell me whether or not you think this is a fair poll. Because, again, I go back to this poll about wrong direction, right direction. And it really, for me, it says Connecticut doesn't care about higher taxes. Connecticut doesn't care about free speech. Connecticut doesn't care if the federal government or the local government involves themselves in your daily lives. The fact that Donald Trump said he's going to get criminals out of your towns, your criminal aliens out of your towns, so that you don't have to pay tax dollars or your tax dollars go to him, that he's actually going to get rid of the Board of Education so that your kids can actually learn and get out of the bureaucracy, that people in Connecticut would say that his election puts everyone in the wrong direction by a whopping 78%. Again, 73%, I'm sorry, 73%. That we actually couldn't see that number. I mean, I would have totally respected maybe 60, 62, hell, 65. But 73% with only 15% saying that the country's going in the right direction? That doesn't even make good sense. Among those who feel the country is on the right track, most say they feel this way because the economy, 36%, or because of recent elections or new leadership. Those who feel the country is on the wrong track, and again, this is 60 people voting that it was going in the right track versus the wrong track, 289. Most often they feel that way because of recent elections, new leadership, immigration, opposing political viewpoints, quality of life or living standards, poor governance. I'm already in the grievance mode. Poor governance, the economy, and the fragility of the country or democracy. I don't believe this poll at all. But you know what? Everybody's going to make hay out of it in the state. This is supposed to be the standard. They love this poll. They're going to use this. You're going to hear people talking about it. That's what's going to happen. We'll come back. We'll take your phone calls. 860-522-WTIC. It's the airing of Grievance Friday on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
I'm elder law attorney Haley O'Lear. Our greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hi, I'm Kate from Farmington. My husband had a stroke a year ago. I worked with a wonderful team of people that helped me rewrite my will and navigate the Medicaid application. They even came to our home to meet us, understand our needs, and connect us with a healthcare agency.
Find out more at AlairElderLaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut. From breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-239-1749, 800-239-1749, or biglou.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 3:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC.
What are you talking about,
1080 News.
Terry?
President Trump says he's considering doing away with FEMA. Made the comments while touring storm damage in North Carolina today. Instead of having federal financial assistance flow through FEMA, Trump says Washington could provide money directly to the states. The president also set to visit California following those deadly wildfires out there. Fire routs a fixture in the town of Bolton. Crews spent the day at the Dean Cabinetry facility on West Street. Those inside were able to make it out safely. Another fire at a sprawling home in Old Saybrook. This blaze broke out on Otter Cove Drive last night. Partial collapse, but no injuries have been reported. A woman is dead following a wrong-way crash last night in Hartford. State police say 23-year-old Kelly Caldwell of Vernon was traveling the wrong way on Routes 5 and 15 northbound when she hit a vehicle coming in the opposite direction near exit 90. Las Vegas Raiders negotiating a deal to hire Pete Carroll to be their next head coach, that according to a person with knowledge of the decision. Raiders canned coach Antonio Pierce earlier this month. Carroll won a Super Bowl as coach of the Seattle Seahawks, came close to winning another one, also won a college football championship at USC. And prosecutors say they won't charge Marilyn Manson after a years-long investigation into sexual assault and domestic violence allegations. The L.A. County DA saying today to charge the 56-year-old. The investigation began in 2021 after years of public allegations. WTIC News time is 3:31. Here's Jason Catarina with the forecast.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, sunshine and a few clouds, the high of 34. Tonight, clear skies, bitterly cold, the low down to 11. Then sunny to partly cloudy as we make our way through Saturday. Colder, the high of 32. Then Sunday, breezy with a mix of clouds and sun, not as cold, the high up to 39. Monday, partly sunny, breezy in the afternoon, the high 35. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, we have partly sunny skies. Temperature is 32 right now in Hartford, half hour before the close. Dow's down 199 points, NASDAQ down 129. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete
Beckman.
details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything, online to hybrid courses, lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Hi, this is Joel Johnson with Johnson Brunetti. Do not make mistakes when it comes to Social Security decisions. Get our free guide, Social Security Decisions. Call or text the word security to request your copy. 1-800-705-1232. Call or text the word security to 1-800-705-1232 to get your free guide. 1-800-705-1232.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
1 minute.
From Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Helping your inner circle prepare for emergencies can start in many ways. Put together an emergency kit with WIPOL. Create a family communication plan with your tita. Remind Bai to keep a backup battery charged. It all starts with a simple step, telling those you care about to be ready for the worst. So start a conversation and plan for emergencies together. Get more tips at ready.gov/start. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. No, you're going to hear about it.
Airing of Grievance Friday on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. I'm Reese on the radio. Welcome to the program. Don't forget, you can always watch the program by going to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Don't forget, at the end of the show, we have our last but not least call of the day. Brought to you by Between Rounds, the Bagels Bakery and Sandwich Cafe located in South Windsor, Manchester, and Vernon. If you are the last but not least caller today, you will win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, a $90 value courtesy of Between Rounds. Also, if you want to get that, I went to go check. I didn't have enough because I clearly haven't been promoting it. The airing of grievance, you can call in and leave a number. I'm going to leave it someplace here so that I can remember to promote the telephone number. If you're just joining us in the last break of the opening monologue, I was talking about this data coming from the New Hampshire University. They do this nutmeg poll talking about where the country or where the state is, where the nutmeg state is after the first days of the Trump administration. And it's incredibly early to tell how people feel because in essence, it's a poll based upon the election, not on anything that's been done. So if you ask me, what are we, 4 days in? It's not a real poll. And I would say give them 100 days, do another poll, and then get back at me. We'll see what the state says then. And if it's similar to this one, fine. Have at it. And I'll just, I'll call them the, denunts that they are thereafter. But I saw this article in the Hartford Courant. Trump wants to arrest officials who don't cooperate on deportations. Connecticut says they won't be bullied. Let me start by saying, dear Hartford Courant, that is a lie. That headline is a lie. Let me explain to you why. I read your article, and the headline, if indeed it is clickbait, you failed miserably. Because the truth be told, as I said to you on these airwaves, William Tong has no intention of jumping in front of ICE agents saying, yo, you can't take these people. They are protected by the red, the black, and the green. No, I'm kidding. They are protected by the Attorney General's office. You cannot touch these people. No. No. William Tong is just giving lip service and saying that he thinks it's bad. But no one is going to stand in the way of ICE agents that start deporting people. There's no intention. These people, look at what Ned Lamont said when asked about mass deportations. I just want to make sure that everybody knows they're welcome here. Did he go any further than that? Did he say, we will do everything in our power to protect you? No, he did not. You're welcome here. Regardless of whether or not ICE agents come and they pick you up and they take you back to your country, just want to let you know while you're leaving, you were welcome here. You were welcome. We didn't want you to go. But, enjoy your flight. That's all this is about. And I hate to clown them behind this. But that's all this is. This is, let me make a comment and say, I'm not down with this. I don't like the idea that Donald Trump's going to come into our state and he's going to get evil bad guys out of our state. And that people are going to be fearful because they may have a criminal record and they may too, even though they're trying to live a better life or get a better way in life, that they may too be deported. But I really don't feel like I'm going to get in between those people and the federal government. So my statement is, they were welcome here. And then quietly, when the roundups happen, they'll sit in the mansions, they'll sit in their homes, and they'll watch it on TV, and they'll answer their phone calls or their text messages talking about how outraged they are while they do nothing. And trust me, I'm more happy than anything. Please do nothing. Please, William Tong, do nothing. This is way, way out of your wheelhouse, my friend. And it's way above your pay grade. You're not going to come out and protect one of these people. Not one of them. This is about press and ink for you. But in the event that you need some encouragement, let me help you. I think it's only right that you get the encouragement that you need. You see, the American people don't care for all of the lip service that's being given about how public officials don't want the deportations to take place. Listen to Harry Enton from CNN.
The American people really like what they're seeing, at least compared to where Donald Trump started 8 years ago, right? All right, this is Donald Trump's net approval rating. This is Reuters Ipsos. It's among adults. It was taken the first few days of this administration. Look here. Back in January 2017, Donald Trump became the first president in history to start his presidency with a net negative approval rating. Look at where we are now in January 2025. Considerably better at plus 6 points. That's up 9 points. To borrow a Donald Trump phrase, this is big league. This is a sign that the American people, at least initially, like what they're seeing. And so you see right here, more Americans approve of Donald Trump's job than disapprove. And that is very much unlike what we saw 8 years ago.
Now, do you think that approval rating has to do with tariffs? Do you think it has to do with Pete Hegseth? I would say it has everything to do with the signature issue the man gets elected on. Immigration and the economy. Bar none. Without a doubt. But we'll go one step further there, folks.
So compare the rating now to the entire first term.
Yeah, so it's not just that he's doing better than where he was doing 8 years ago. It's that he's doing better than he ever did during his entire first administration. So I again look
He never was over +3?
He was never over +3. The highest rating he ever, his highest ever net approval rating was +3 in March of...
Your choice of photo is quite...
He likes what he's seeing. He's smirking at the American media.
He just doesn't like you.
Maybe not, although he should like these numbers and the way I'm presenting them. You look at January 2025, look at that. Again, you get +6. So Donald Trump isn't just in a better position than he was 8 years ago at this point. He's in a better position than he was at any point during his entire first term. Things have very much turned around. This is a very different Donald Trump. He's leading a very different administration, the way he's attacking things, and the American public is very much more in line with him than they were at any point during his entire first term.
And what was his first term? What was his first term? His first term was immigration. Immigration. Without a doubt. Let's see if we can make this even worse. I think we can.
Take me back in history.
Take you back in history. So it was so interesting to me that Donald Trump's first net approval rating of his second term is higher than his entire first term. And I was interested, has that ever happened? Has the second term net approval rating in the first month, have you ever had a higher rating than any net approval rating during the entire first term? Donald Trump is the only...
I have a hard time believing this.
This is 100% true. I went back. I love spreadsheets. Donald Trump is the first guy ever whose net approval rating in the first month of his second term is higher than any rating that he had in an entire first term campaign.
What's the problem? What's the problem? Now, again, I get that this stuff gets these people ink. I get that the news media is running to these folks. Are you opposing the president of the United States? Are you going to defy the president and his mission to get illegals out of the country? Sure, run to the cameras. That's an ecosystem that means nothing. Nothing. It's all done. And then, folks, I just have to give you the piece de resistance before we go to break. This one is my favorite one. I'm sure you all saw this video about the Haitian who was caught in Boston.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
F Trump. Thank you, Biden. Biden forever. Thank you, Obama, for everything you've done for me. And to be honest with you, I think Donald Trump should turn that into an ad. Maybe it should be something like this.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Or better yet, maybe it should go like this.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message because I believe we're all in this together.
That's better. That's better. But I think since he's really invoking Joe Biden, maybe it should go like this.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve Joe Biden.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve Joe Biden. I think that's appropriate. Just start cutting the edge right now. This moron actually had himself, he was showing out. He was so happy to make it known that Donald Trump was the bad guy. I've got 17 convictions. 17 convictions. And he wanted everybody to know, F Trump, Biden forever, and thank Obama for everything he's done for me.
So, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
Yes, thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro. Everything that he did for me, allowing me to come into the country, allowing me to commit crimes in Boston, probably rob people, probably take things from people that I didn't own, that didn't belong to me. Hey, probably gave me the right to vote, gave me an opportunity to get a driver's license, gave me the opportunity to, I don't know, eat the cats and dogs. I don't know. I'm just, okay, that was wrong. I don't know, but this guy is singing the praises. A gang member convicted 17 times singing the praises of Joe Biden and Barack Obama. That was the worst thing that could have happened. The worst for the Democrat Party. And I don't hear anybody say anything about it. I don't hear anybody sitting up there. Yeah, I know, you know why you're not hearing anybody? Because right now, when that video played on Fox last night, every Democrat in the country put their head in their hands and they said, damn that idiot. Damn him. And thank goodness for him. We'll take a break. We'll take your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842 on this airing of Grievance Friday on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
The pro football playoff season is here, and there's one place to be, the BetQL Network presented by BetMGM.
Your home for wagertainment, giving you the sharpest insights and bringing on expert guest analysis.
From point spreads to props, live betting to futures, BetQL has you covered every step of the way with wall-to-wall coverage on the road to the championship in New Orleans.
Listen live on the BetQL Network presented by BetMGM on the free Odyssey app and twitch.tv/BetQL or YouTube at Odyssey Sports.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Northeast Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution.
He said, thank you for keeping the seat warm.
You see, ED doesn't just affect you. It can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Northeast Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is
Lori,
just $99
where's that
and
story?
includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices: Salem, New Hampshire, Dedham, Marlborough, Woburn, Farmington, Connecticut. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Not all products are available in all 50 states. Compounded products are not FDA approved nor verified for safety, efficacy, or quality. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. See website for full details.
Why try Hims for weight loss? If you're interested in personalized prescription
Damn,
options,
Rama.
including Ozempic, Wegovy, oral medications, and
Yeah,
compounded
Lori,
GLP-1
I heard the
injections,
story
and
about
support to see real results,
the
you
veteran
might like it.
in
Why try
Newark,
Hims
New
to
Jersey.
regrow hair? If a range
But
of
I have
treatment
questions
options made
about
with
that
clinically
story. So
proven
if you have a
ingredients
follow-up
like
to it,
minoxidil and
send
finasteride
link
for
it in
thicker,
the
fuller
chat
hair
room.
in 3 to 6 months sound good? You might like it. Why try Hims for ED? If you've been looking for access to doctor-trusted treatments like Viagra, Cialis, and their more affordable generic counterparts, you and your partner might like it. The Hims process is simple, 100% online, and treatments are shipped free to your door in discreet packaging if prescribed. What's not to like? To save big on weight loss, hair loss, and ED solutions, get started today at hims.com. That's hims.com.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had a house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
When you're still looking for love, Valentine's Day sucks. Every restaurant is fully booked. Suddenly, all chocolates are heart-shaped, and all the PDA. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience of certainty. California Psychics.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Taking your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC. Lori is in the chat room, and she said something about a story that I was looking up earlier this morning. So according to this, and Matt in Bristol, who's on the line, I'm going to get into him in a second. Matt yesterday brought this up, saying that all there has to be is one false move about these ICE raids, and that becomes the story. That becomes the overall theme of these ICE raids, right? It's like, so somebody gets snagged, you get a poor mother and her child, and they get snagged in the ICE raids, and then they get to use them as sort of like the martyr. So there's this story that's going around. And again, this is that eagerness that I talk about, that the press is looking for that one victim. So this story I saw this morning, and I started to investigate it, and something seems wrong. So let me read it to you. Here's the headline. Mayor in New Jersey says citizens and a veteran were detained in ICE raid of local business. Now, I also saw the WPIX Channel 11 news in New York cover this as well. And they were there as the ICE raid took place. But according to the story, which Daily Beast is the one who's actually putting all the mustard on this story, says that the information that they gathered about the so-called Puerto Rican veteran who was taken into custody, that information was given to the news, Channel 11, by the owner of the oyster place in Newark, which begs several questions that nobody in the media bothers to ask. One, you're a business hiring illegals. 3 people were detained, according to the report. And they're saying that not out of those 3 people, that one of the people that were detained, and not the 3 who are still in custody, that one of them was a veteran from Puerto Rico. And the person who was an American citizen is reporting to the news that that person was not an illegal. We haven't heard who the person was. No one's given the individual's name. That person has not come forward talking about it. It may indeed be true, but they were released. Today, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents raided a local establishment in the city of Newark, detaining undocumented residents as well as citizens without producing a warrant. One of the detainees, a U.S. military veteran who suffered the indignity of having the legitimacy of his military documentation questioned. That's the crime. This egregious act is in plain violation of the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which guarantees the right of people to secure their persons, houses, and papers and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. But see, my question is, and it is a simple question, your beef should be with your employer. Because the reason why ICE was raiding your employer is because known immigrants, illegals, were in his place of business. And when they went there to go raid it, it's like raiding a house of ill repute. It's not your fault that you were there. It's the fault of the establishment being illegal or having illegals housed there. So if you want to sue anybody, sue your employer because he put your life in jeopardy when ICE agents had to raid it. But we'll talk more about that and we'll get your opinion when we return. Let's go to our first check of the traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How are we doing out there, Mark? It's Friday.
Hey, Reese, things are good because it is Friday, and if you're southbound 91, you got delays 33 down to 32 at 32 A and B in Hartford. Northbound 91, no problems. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84, you're seeing just a little slow traffic now, excuse me, as you approach the Brooklyn Bridge. Out to about 47 Sigourney, 84 eastbound slowing, approaching 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay east of the river, 2 eastbounds moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, 84 westbound Waterbury slowing 25A up to 22. If you're heading in toward New Haven, southbound 95 delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. A little slow southbound on the Parkway moving by exit 60 in Hamden. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Traffic on I-84 in Hartford keeps on moving slower, but at Columbia Implant Center, we're only getting faster, providing you with specialist care assisted by cutting-edge technology. 1 day, same day, 7 days a week. Visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, sunshine and a few clouds, the high of 34. Clear and bitter cold tonight, the low dropping down to 11. Now, over the weekend, sunny to partly cloudy on Saturday, just a touch colder, the high of 32. Sunday will be a breezy day with a mix of clouds and sun. Temperatures will be milder, but it's still going to feel quite cold, the high of 39. That breeze obviously making it feel much colder. Then Monday, partly sunny, breezy, the high of 35. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut, from breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Hartford Mayor Arunan Arulampalam has nominated a 36-year-old from Philadelphia as the capital city's new police chief. Here's WTIC's Dave Maker.
The mayor says Tyrell McCoy was somewhat of a prodigy in Philadelphia.
Started policing at a young age and right out of high school, and was very quickly picked up as a rising star.
By 21, he was a sergeant, a lieutenant at 26, then at 29, commanding officer of the huge 9th District in Philly, all while getting what Arulampalam calls rave reviews.
He's somebody who I think will bring a really innovative and fresh approach, while also really having the humility to understand and listen to the police in our department and the residents in our community.
McCoy also has experience in police recruiting, an ongoing top initiative in Hartford. Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
The City Council will consider the appointment next month. Hartford Schools Superintendent Leslie Torres Rodriguez is on the move. She announced today she will step down at the end of the current academic year. Torres Rodriguez has been superintendent for 8 years. She grew up in the city after migrating from Puerto Rico, worked her way up in a number of positions before becoming superintendent. Fire at a cabinetry business in Bolton today brought a large firefighter response. Crews from 11 departments were dispatched to the Dean Cabinetry on West Street for the fire that broke out shortly after 7 a.m. This is Chief Bruce Dixon.
There's a building approximately 150 by 100 foot, single story. Started off in the middle of the building.
Dixon says they had to get water from elsewhere due to a lack of hydrants in the area.
And a real positive note, about 5 months ago, we put behind New England Country Homes, they invested and put a new pond in. I now have 2 trucks pumping that pond lines into the fire.
Audio courtesy of WFSB. No reported injuries and no word yet on a cause of that fire. Another hostage release is set for this weekend. Hamas has said it will release 4 hostages said to be female Israeli soldiers who were kidnapped in the October 7, 2023 attacks.
Hamas has released the names of 4 more Israeli hostages, which will be a huge relief, of course, to their families here in Israel after the past 15 months of captivity. They are all female soldiers, aged either 19 or 20, and in keeping with a statement given by Hamas official earlier this week. Now, the next step, which is expected to be Saturday, is the exchange of these 4 hostages for 200 Palestinian detainees.
Correspondent Rami Inocencio in Tel Aviv. President Trump paid a visit to western North Carolina today, hit hard by last year's Hurricane Helene.
We're getting the Army Corps of Engineers all set. You need your riverbanks fixed. You need a lot of roads fixed, and we're going to get it done in rapid time.
Also, he's considering doing away with FEMA. That storm caused $53 billion in damage. Trump plans to visit Southern California, where wildfires there have been burning for more than 2 weeks, scorching hundreds of thousands of acres, businesses, homes, and leaving over 24 dead. Vice President Vance joined anti-abortion protesters in D.C. today for the March for Life.
And it is the task of our government to make it easier for young moms and dads to afford to have kids, to bring them into the world, and to welcome them as the blessings that we know they are here at the March for Life.
Closing Bell Report, sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Rally came to a screeching halt on Wall Street today. The Dow lost 140 points. NASDAQ down 99, S&P down 17 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hold on a minute.
The county just requested more electric charging stations.
Orders have really amped up at Able Electric.
We need 3 more at First in Maine, and we just got another hotel chain.
It's no shock. Able Electric needs able electricians.
Grocery store wants charging stations too.
And fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Before we get to the phone calls here, well, let's get to Mark in West Hartford. Mark's got an update on the Solomon Schechter School scandal that he broke here on this show before it went nuts everywhere else, and they didn't even bother to give you any credit for it because now the news media is covering it. What do we have so far, Mark?
So we both deserve credit because if you didn't allow me to talk about it, then nobody would know about it. So just a quick review, real quick. Last Friday, I found out there was a teacher at Solomon Schechter, a private Jewish school, that was arrested for alleged inappropriate tickling. Now we know it's tickling of a student there. I believe, if I'm right, 6 years old. And we had a lot of questions that day in that little short of time. Well, guess what? This Rabbi Berger from Solomon Schechter, for the first time since this should have been reported months ago, reached out to the parents with an email within 24 hours of you and I having that discussion.
Right. Something that should have been done before then.
Well, you would think. Now, here's the thing is, there's some disturbing things that I know we don't have time to get into. In fact, you know how you could dissect a frog in school?
Yeah.
So this is like dissecting an enormous pig. So I picked up the police report, and there's just way too much, Reese. We'll have to save it for when I could break it down and give a timeline.
Okay.
But, in the report, so here's Rabbi Berger from the school. Tickling in a school setting presents concerns, but is not always grounds for reporting. Because as we know, we talked about mandated reporting.
Right.
And then, but they did want to say how is mandated reporting, there was quick responses. Well, they delayed it because what they wanted to do is do their own investigation before they called anybody, the police or DCF. Now, the one disturbing thing is DCF said that some of these allegations are unfounded and they're not going to investigate any further. Which is really bizarre because one of the witnesses was supposed to be another teacher.
Ah.
So if you're not going to take the eyes of another teacher at the school, but here's what just was sent to me 3 minutes ago.
What's that?
This was on social media, unfounded. It's I can't verify it, but it's somebody who put as a parent of a student at the school that employed him last year, meaning a different school.
Right.
I can say this is not the first time he has been reported to DCF.
Well, we're
Now,
gonna listen. Let's get to the
What?
bottom of this because I got a hard break. Let's get to the bottom of this. See if you can find out any information over the weekend. We'll address this again on Monday. Okay.
Oh, we'll talk. Yeah,
You got
yeah.
it.
I might need even more time than that. We'll
You
talk
got it.
next week.
You
Thanks
got it,
so
sir.
much.
You got it. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher at the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, we do have an accident now, 91 northbound on the Cromwell Middletown line. This traffic report being brought to you by Tab Computer Systems, a 100% employee-owned company. And 91 northbound, look out for that crash between 20 and 21. Looks like the left and center lanes are out there, so you want to stay to the right. And we've got delays kicking back. Let's see, delays are all the way back to, looks like the Middletown rest area already. So heavy delays there as you move 91 northbound from Middletown into Cromwell. Once again, the left and center lanes are blocked. You want to stay to the right there to get around that. And yes, delays back to the Middletown rest area behind that. Now, if you're southbound 91, look for delays in Hartford 33 down to 32A and B. Westbound 84 a little tight, Bulkey Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slowing, approaching 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, Waterbury on the westbound side of 84. You've got delays 26 up to exit 22. And if you are traveling into New Haven, southbound Parkway a little slow, getting by exit 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound delays 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, under clear skies, bitter cold one more time. The low down to 11 degrees tonight. Then sunny to partly cloudy on Saturday, the high 32. Saturday night, not as cold as recent nights. The low only down to 21. Breezy Sunday with a blend of sun and clouds, the high of 39. That west-southwest wind 10 to 20 miles an hour will make it feel a lot colder. Monday, partly sunny, still breezy with that southwest wind at 10 to 20. The high 35 will feel like it's in the 20s much of the day on Monday. Right now it is 30 in Danbury, also in Waterbury and Bristol. It's 32 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth from Money Wisdom. Tune in this week and every week to gain a better understanding of taxes, retirement income, and long-term care. The Money Wisdom, Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or at CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
Life can be unpredictable at times, but you shouldn't have to suffer the consequences of someone else's negligence. If you've been in an accident or work-related injury and it's not your fault, you need a lawyer who knows how to get you the fair and just compensation. At Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, our team of personal injury lawyers have over 100 years of combined experience. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Bruce Newman is responsible for the content of this ad.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. Afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481.
Here we go.
800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The airing of grievances. Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Let's get directly to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Wall Street Joe's on the line. How you doing, sir?
Hello. This is Grievance Day, right?
Yes, it is. What do you got?
Well, I've never really come on specifically for one, but I have one that I could really think of. At the inauguration indoors there, when they brought in Joe Biden and the honorable Dr. Jill Biden, won't have to hear Dr. Jill Biden anymore. That's a fraud. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, she's an education doctorate.
Yeah, and it's women's studies at a junior college in Pennsylvania. And the day of her dissertation, which was rated by independent sources as a high school C paper, so many misspellings and grammatical deficiencies. Besides all that, the content was weak. The subject matter, women's studies, not that that's not important, but, let's be real about being a doctor. But Senator Joe Biden came in, sat in the front row to intimidate the professors that were going to decide whether she would be granted it or not. He sat right in the front row intimidating them and attended her dissertation. And then once they passed her so they could call her doctor, something to do with him, they got a donation to the college. I think it was like $1 million or $2 million. They got a dowry through the Biden family. It was like a payoff. So, whenever they say Dr. Jill, anyone who calls her Dr. Jill Biden, I say this. You got a medical emergency. She's a doctor. You want her to take care of it?
Nobody wants, listen, I don't think that anybody thinks of her seriously in that way. I think a lot of people that made a lot of hay of referring to her as Dr. Jill Biden because in the grand scheme of things, it's like giving someone kudos who hadn't deserved it. And it was trying to make her a distinguished first lady where otherwise she lacked any real, gravitas. That's all.
Well, she's really like a shrieking hag. After that debate with Trump in the spin room, she was running around screaming. He answered every question.
Yes.
Joe, you did wonderful. She was the only. She was like.
It was really,
like
really bad. It was like watching a poor mom, applauding her kid for winning third place at a two-man race. It was just really, really embarrassing.
Yeah.
I watched that video.
And one other thing, a follow-up to my call the other day, I wasn't able to finish. That illegal immigrant that was going to be deported by ICE, I didn't give you the timeline that much. In New Haven, he holed up in a church. Now, I'm sure it was when Todd Feinberg took over this show 7-8 years ago. He was on. He was brand new. And I called in and said, Todd, now's your chance. Set up the show down in New Haven outside the church, and you'll get to interview Blumenthal, Lamont, all the people in the Democrat Party. You'd be right there to get interviews. And he laughed at me. He says, well, that's a great idea, but I don't know if the station would go along with it. And he didn't.
I would have just gone down there to interview him. I wouldn't have needed the station to do a remote. I would have just gone down there and gotten some audio from all of them. Just for that matter. Let me get some other people in here. I got them all on hold. Let's go to Tom in Thomaston. How we doing, Tom?
Hey, I'm doing well. Hey, isn't it a shame that a retired firefighter is a better reporter than all the paid reporters in the state?
Again, and the beautiful part about it is, and I'll tell you what really makes Mark in West Hartford unique in this respect. He really does know all the players because he's had to deal with them in some capacity. So he's got sort of like, and again, that's how you get any fire started as a journalist, is to be able to get to those people who, like the playmakers, if you will. Knowing all of them and having relationships with all of them, they'll give you the inside track, and they trust him with that stuff. But again, you're 100% right. It's Connecticut, right? Which we know is kind of a sleepy state in the regard of, it's a big state, but it's a sleepy state. Where when there's a scandal, it's huge. Even John Rowland's scandal in Connecticut barely made national news. Remember that? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It was all over Connecticut. It was all anyone could talk about, but it barely scratched the surface as far as making it to a national scandal because it's Connecticut. Nothing against it. It's just because it's Connecticut. When something like these stories that Mark has been able to expose, especially in the atmosphere we're in, this should be something that these news media outlets are jumping on to get them national attention, because that's how you grow up or blow up in this industry, is having one of those stories.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
It would be so easy for them to do because it's a story of consequence.
Exactly.
But they're lazy.
I think so.
Can I make a statement on one statement on Trump before I go?
Sure, go ahead.
Him saying we should get rid of FEMA is brilliant. Why do we need FEMA? The states that are impacted can make their own decisions and then get the money from the government. All FEMA does is add
a layer,
hundreds of millions of bureaucracy to pay the FEMA employees.
Exactly. It separates the needy from the need.
Yeah.
Right? All it does, it puts another barrier in its place. If you really want to, and I know there's a part of that says, well, many people are saying, do I want to trust the local government with so-called FEMA money? And my deal is, at least we know that what we gave, like, I'll put it this way. If Connecticut had a federal or had an emergency that needed FEMA money, let's say I cut, Lamont a check. And at least then he has to have an account of what that money was spent on and how it was used. And if it's mismanaged, there's a direct line from him to the federal government.
Yeah, and if it was mismanaged, they could just cut the yearly stipends the government gives the state.
Indeed, exactly. Just cut them off. Yeah. Cut them off right at the knees and said, "Hey, you guys get 1.9 billion usually here. You know what? You're only going to get 1 billion."
And if they needed extra help, he said the Army Corps of Engineers he might bring into North Carolina.
Yeah,
they'd be perfect to help with any stuff. Say a small state.
And the beauty of it is, it's one of those things. One of those things about this is to ask the American people. They are so upset about getting rid of FEMA because, again, you have the establishment media parading around, cheerleading for the government bureaucracy, which shows you exactly how far the mainstream news media has become, because their job is to question the bureaucracy, not cheerlead it.
Yeah, they're all embedded, and that's the main reason why the established left and right, Republicans and Democrats, hate Trump so much.
Indeed. Yep.
They're afraid he's going to, open up all the secrets.
And you know what? The worst part is that imagine if he actually saves the federal government money and there's more in their coffers. And the part they're going to be mad about is that they can't collect more from the people. That's what they'll be angry about.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Thank you, sir. Let's go to White Mike, who's in Florida. How we doing, sir?
Hey, man. So that story you had about the seafood restaurant that got raided.
Yes.
Am I supposed to be upset that someone was detained?
Mm-hmm.
Detained is not arrested.
Exactly.
And secondly, if this guy is a veteran and a Puerto Rican, how bad is his English that he's not believably American when they're talking to him?
Well, you know what? It's because, okay, so the owner, if you actually read the story that Daily Beast put out, I watched it. Daily Beast is secondhand reporting from WPIX in Newark, right? Which is a New York station, but they were in Newark when they were doing the report. So they're secondhanding the information. And in the Daily Beast report, they're suggesting that the owner of the establishment, the guy who's committing the real crime here, he says that the veteran was asked for his passport. And the guy's saying, who expects someone to have a passport? And he also suggests that the reason why ICE detained him was because of his color, right? Because he looked Hispanic. Well, he is Hispanic. He's Puerto Rican.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, first of all, dude, knock it off. This is not one of those things where they all look alike and now we have a problem. You had illegals in your business, in your place of business. And the people who were detained, if you gave us a hard way to go, hey, who are you and what are you doing here? There's a raid on a property that clearly hires illegals. Who are you? I want to make sure for my safety and for your safety who you are. And if you got a beef about that, you know what? We'll put you in the paddy wagon too, just for giving us a hard time.
Well, yeah, but was his response when asked for his passport to say, I don't have no passport?
Right. Right,
Uh,
exactly. How exactly did he respond?
And on this subject, I think that one of the greatest things President Trump could do for the people of Puerto Rico is give them independence.
I couldn't agree more. Dude, I've been saying that since I was 12. I've been saying that since I was 12 years old.
Let them survive. There's no reason that someone in a territory can come here, and I've seen it firsthand. They come to America and immediately get on the system and use the dole.
But see, again, what was the big argument? Many people asked, it's like every 4 years, I think Puerto Ricans are asked whether or not they should either get their independence or becoming the 51st state. And overwhelmingly, Puerto Rico always votes no. Even when they have a conservative mayor or, somebody who's running, Puerto Rico. Is it a mayor or a governor? I don't know. Who cares? But anyway, whoever's running Puerto Rico, doesn't matter whether he's conservative or liberal. Every time they have the vote, overwhelmingly, they vote against it. And why? It's the only reason why, when we ask, it's because of taxes. Because they want to be a welfare state.
Yeah, and I think they should be an independent nation.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Airing of grievances, I have a good one.
What do you got?
people who live in a bubble and people our age who don't really associate with people younger than us, like Gen Z,
Okay.
have no idea how unbelievably stupid these people are. I'm not being hyperbolic. I
Nope.
mean, something happened to me at work this week. It's been cold here in Florida.
Right.
So I work with this 22-year-old cell phone addicted, not as hot as she thinks she is, little girl.
Right.
And she says, who knows what the freezing temperature is for water? And I said, well, that's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And she gets pissy and she goes, well, who knows what the boiling temperature is? I said, that's 212 degrees Fahrenheit. And she looked me dead in my face and said, wrong.
Why would she say no wrong if she doesn't know?
Because she's tarded. Because this generation is entitled and ignorant and think they're not. They think they're perfect because they've been never told they're bad at anything in their entire lives.
I agree with you.
And my question is, how do you get to be 22 years old and not know the freezing and boiling temperature of water?
I'm still.
Don't they teach you in like 5th grade?
I don't think they do. I don't think that they find that stuff relevant for these kids anymore. And if it's anywhere, it's probably on some quiz that the kids forget about 15 minutes after it's taken. That's what I believe.
I mean, how do they cook?
Exactly.
So these are the people that are voting. This is the future. And one more suggestion to better the world, and I'll let you go. I think that we should, in addition to deporting all the illegals, we should establish massive work farms for the homeless. We should round up every homeless person in every city and put them to work on farms so they can detox from their drugs and get the benefit of tough manual labor to benefit their mental state.
I like that. That's actually not a bad idea. I love it.
Yeah, make them grow vegetables and hoe fields and stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? And doing that is connecting with the earth, which many of them say that they like. They like connecting with the earth and getting off the grid. It would be a great idea.
Yeah, let some sunshine and fresh air. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
All right, man.
I don't know if anybody is for that. I don't know if anybody is for that. It's, what are you going to do? Oh, I left Matt in Bristol in limbo. Just stick around there, Matt. I promise I'll get to you. All right, we didn't do the stupidest thing that I read today. We'll get into that conversation in the next break because I didn't want it to just be left to the stupidest thing I read today. I actually wanted to have a conversation about it. But if you want to join in, you can. 860-522-WTIC. This is really an insane, insane story. You know that yesterday Donald Trump signed an executive order, to release all of the documents, to declassify the documents into the murders of RFK, JFK, and MLK. And John F. Kennedy's grandson has come out attacking Donald Trump for doing just that, as have the family of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which has got to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I'll read you the story when we get back. If you haven't seen it yet, go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Go read the stupidest thing that I read today so you can read the story. It's in the New York Post today as well. All right, let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. We do have a delay now, 91 northbound as you move Middletown up into Cromwell. We have a crash now between exit 20 and 21. And right now, they've got the left and center lanes blocked there. So stay right. You've got delays now approaching the Middletown
commentary.
West area.
He said both of those numbers.
Now, once you get around that, good ride up into Hartford. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 43 Park Road in West Hartford. 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay east of the river. 2 eastbounds looking good Glastonbury into Marlboro. In Middletown, 9 northbound. Look out for an accident. That looks like it's up by exit 19, just prior to exit 19. So you'll see a little bit of a delay as you move up on that exit. Once you get around that, some slow traffic again as you approach the Aragoni Bridge in downtown Middletown. Now, if you're traveling in the westbound side of 84 in Cheshire, delays 26 up to 22 in Waterbury. Southbound Parkway slowing 61 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound, you're slowing 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon, sunshine, a few clouds, the high of 34. Tonight, clear and bitterly cold once again, the low dropping down to 11. Over the weekend, starting with Saturday, sunny to partly cloudy, a touch colder, the high of 32. Now Sunday, it'll be breezy with a mix of clouds and sun, the high up to 39, but it'll feel much colder with that breeze throughout the day. Then Monday, partly sunny, still breezy, the high of 35. Will feel like it's in the 20s much of the day with that strong southwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Then on Tuesday, still breezy, lots of clouds, a snow shower in the afternoon. The high up to 40, but feeling well down in the 30s, still with a strong west-southwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Then Wednesday, cloudy and colder, a couple of snow showers around, the high back to 29 and feeling colder with a west wind. Then Thursday, brisk and cold, plenty of sunshine, the high of 23. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Bird flu has found its way into New Haven County. The State Department of Agriculture says avian influenza has turned up in a backyard flock. The disease was first reported in New London County. There have been no human cases of bird flu in Connecticut thus far. President Trump visiting areas of the U.S. hit hard by catastrophes. He was in North Carolina today, where residents are still recovering from Hurricane Helene last year. And Trump will be in L.A. County to view the damage wrought by the wildfires out there. Federal judge has barred Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes from entering Washington, D.C. without the court's approval after Trump commuted the extremist group leader's 18-year prison sentence in the January 6th U.S. Capitol attack. Hartford will have a new police chief soon, Captain Tyrell McCoy of the Philly Police Department, the choice to lead the capital city's PD. Announcement made at a news conference earlier this morning. Also in Hartford, Dr. Leslie Torres Rodriguez announcing today that she is stepping down as the city's school superintendent. Torres Rodriguez will remain on the job through the end of the current academic year. One person died in a wrong-way crash last night in Hartford. Troopers say 23-year-old Kelly Caldwell of Vernon was driving on Route 5 and 15 northbound in Hartford when she hit a vehicle traveling in the opposite direction. Wall Street, Dow lost 140 points today. The NASDAQ was down 99 and the S&P down 17 points. NBA locals have the night off. NHL, the Isles home to Philly. AHL, Laval Rocket take on the Wolfpack at the XL Center. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
For your free information kit, 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
It's Reese on the radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Oh, goodness gracious. This story only bugs me because it's the Donald Trump cures cancer comment many moons ago. I remember somebody said it on social media. Said if Donald Trump cured cancer, the entire Democrat Party would be rooting for cancer. Well, dare him destroy cancer. Cancer didn't do nothing to him. It's stupid. But I got to read you this story, and then I'll get to the phones real quick. Kennedy clan at war over release of long secret JFK files. Who's on which side, the New York Post writes. The Kennedy clan is warring again, this time over the release of the Fed's classified files on President John F. Kennedy's assassination. JFK's grandson, Jack Schlossberg, seen here to my left, accused the commander-in-chief of using his grandfather as political prop in an X post right after the president announced on Thursday that he was releasing the secret documents. Here's what his quote said. JFK conspiracy theories. The truth is a lot sadder than the myth. A tragedy that didn't need to happen. He's saying, no, wait, there's another quote here. Here it is. Not part of an inevitable grand scheme using JFK as a political prop when he's not here to punch back. What are you talking about, punch back? If I'm John F. Kennedy, I'm like, avenge me. Find out who killed me. Get that son of a gun and get him behind bars. Condemn them all. You have his own grandson who's saying, oh, he's using my grandfather as a political prop. For what? For what? Getting to the bottom of who killed your grandfather is now a crime in some sort of, in social circles? It's some condemnable act? What are these people, stupid? Anyway, let's go to the phones. I promise Matt in Bristol first. How you doing, Matt?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins. How are you doing?
That's one of my favorite Seinfeld episodes. Hello.
Yeah, I know. That's where I got it from.
What do you got?
First of all, never worry about leaving me in limbo, because whenever you feel like I'm the right fit, I'm listening anyway. So
thank you, sir.
Okay. Let me see. Let's start with what you just said.
Okay.
Well, Mike Pompeo said that there could be an 85-year-old agent out there, so it's pretty risky.
Yes.
You know,
I watched that clip today. It was him talking to John Stossel, saying that an 85-year-old agent might be out there and he might be put at risk. I'm like, of what? An uneven sidewalk? Like, what are you talking about?
He could still, he could still be out there, James Bonding it up. You never know. So, let me see. So, before my airing of grievances, I just want to disagree with Joe, Wall Street Joe.
Yes.
Because Whoopi Goldberg was sure that she would let Dr. Joe Biden do surgery on her.
That's right. She wanted her to be the Surgeon General, and she had to be corrected that she's not a medical doctor.
Yes, but Whoopi's fine with it.
Of course.
She's good with it. Yeah. So I guess that leaves us with my grievance.
Yes, sir.
So once again, Connecticut.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to let you air your grievance. I just realized it's time to get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hold on. I'm going to put you on hold and we'll hear your grievance in a second. Hey, Mark, sorry about that.
No problem, Reese. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon, everyone. And if you are heading on the northbound side of I-91, you're going to see some slow traffic now as you move up between the Middletown Rest area and exit 21. We have an accident that blocked a couple lanes. They've got everything over on the right shoulder now, but you definitely got those curiosity delays. Once you get around that incident, though, things are moving much better as you head up into Hartford. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Westbound 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford out to 44 Prospect Oakwood. 84 eastbound, some tight traffic approaching 46 into the downtown tunnel. 291, 384 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound, look out for some slow traffic by exit 19 up on Middletown on 9 northbound. Could have some road work going on there, slowing you down. Westbound 84 is a little tight. 26 in Cheshire up to exit 23 in Waterbury on the westbound side of 84. Southbound Parkway delays from 62 down to the West Rock Tunnel. South 95 tight from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. 91 southbound slows from exit 3 down in toward the 95 interchange. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy, clear and very cold for us as we head through the night tonight. The low down to 11 degrees, then making our way through Saturday, sunny to partly cloudy, the high 32. Partly cloudy, not as cold as recent nights for Saturday night, the low down to 21. Then breezy Sunday, clouds and sun, the high up to 39. Monday, breezy still, partly sunny, the high of 35. And Tuesday, lots of clouds, a snow shower in the afternoon, the high of 40 for us on Tuesday. Taking a look around, it is 30 in Waterbury, it's 34 in New Haven, 28 in Mansfield, and 32 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Prescriptions require an online care provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. Online visit and save up to 95%. Go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we'll get back to Matt in a second. Don't forget, I've got more bagel jokes coming up soon. Don't fret. We're going to get some more to those. Matt in Bristol's back on the line. Okay, now, air your grievance, Matt.
Okay, so Connecticut and all of its infinite wisdom, they decided at some point that gas stations could no longer charge for air when you're pumping up your tires.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So guess what happened?
Let me guess. They broke the machines?
Well, they stopped repairing the machines. They stopped doing anything, and upkeeping the machines. So now it's almost impossible to find a gas station where you can actually pump up a tire, because why would they spend money on repairing a machine if they can't charge for it?
I almost feel like this is going to sound crazy, Matt, But there is a remedy to that. And I actually used to do this. You know, for 40, maybe even $50, you can buy one of those air pumps that just
got one.
You do?
I got one. Yeah.
Okay. You can just put it in your cigarette lighter. I used to do it all the time. I had one tire that was just a weird tire.
You used to be able to just go to a gas station, and the thing is the ones that you plug in or battery operated,
yeah,
they work, but they take a long time.
They do.
You used to be able to go to any gas station, put $1 in, and pump up your tire.
My biggest issue with that is, Matt, I will tell you this, at the Wawa, when we lived in Virginia, the local Wawa, for some odd reason, I think the entire roadway in Northern Virginia was filled with glass or nails. Because the line to get air free at Wawa was out the parking lot every morning.
Well, because it's free.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's free. I just thought that was odd.
Answered your own question. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was why. Yes, of course, because it was free. But it was like, every time you pull up, and I would say, oh, you know what? I'll just go to Wawa and go get the air. And the line is down the block. It drove me up the wall, and it really prompted me to buy the portable one.
And everyone should have a portable one, but it's nice to be able to go to an actual air compressor that does it in like seconds opposed to minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for them to. You know what? I think so. But do you mind if I ask what was the cost of it when you had to buy air? Like, what's the average cost? Like 50 cents?
It was like $1.
$1? Too much money.
75, yeah, 75 cents to $1.
It sounds silly. In my view, it's too much money. It's like when I argued about whether or not they would be able to sell water. Like, you're going to sell water? And like they do now. Now it's like, but $1 for air, price is too high for me. Just is.
They could have just put a cap on the price instead of saying you can't charge at all.
I agree. That actually, in fact, you know what? The money could go towards repair and not only that, sort of make the store some extra money. But, what are you going to do? Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. You got it. Let's go to David's in Brantford. How are we doing, Dave?
Yeah, I always have a $10 bicycle pump in every car we own. I'm not too lazy to get down there and stroke the tire.
Now, is the bicycle pump, is it manual when you air it up, or one of those little?
Yes,
really?
It's a manual pump up and down. It cost me $10 at Walmart.
And you will use that.
A good one.
And you'll use that on your car.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Well, it doesn't happen very often, but if you come out in the parking lot of the grocery store and it's flat, you're not gonna. Well, obviously it was flat, and then it takes about 70 to 100 strokes to pump it up. So
wow.
You're old, out of shape, or got high heels. Okay, I have a joke and a grievance. Okay, the joke is was it Florida, Mike, that had the 32-degree girl didn't know the temperature of freezing water?
Yeah.
This is a George Carlin attribution. No matter how dumb you think the average person is, recognize that half the population is even dumber than that.
Yeah.
I always thought that was a great joke.
Great line.
The grievance is, we're talking about Dr. Jill. When you had Boise Kimber on, I'm surprised you never used the word reverend with respect to his...
No, because I actually looked at his bio, and he refers to himself as Dr. Boise Kimber. I was thinking I was going to call him Dr. Reverend Boise Kimber, but I was like, I don't want to go through all that.
In the newspaper, they do refer to him as the Reverend Doctor.
Really?
And I think we get that because the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King is frequently called that, and the senator from the South, the Reverend Dr. Raphael Warnock, also uses the double title.
Yes.
And in fact, I've seen Senator Warnock called Senator Reverend Dr. Warnock, and I think we'll leave on this. The conflation of reverend, I think, has come to mean revered in many people's minds.
That's correct.
Revered Martin Luther King, and Reverend Doctor, I think it's starting to mean the revered Dr. Martin Luther King.
You know what?
I'm done.
I'm tend to agree. Thank you, sir. Hey, here's an oldie but goodie. Tim in Hamden is back. You done with your hiatus? Welcome back to the show.
Well, I called with a grievance. One of the callers before was talking about rounding up the homeless and putting them on
work farms
camps.
Work farms.
That is, well, first off, he should go and read that Constitution again, as you should, as far as rounding up people,
Oh, you were taking him literal. Okay, so answer this question for me. You being of the blue striped individuals. no one seems to have a problem when people are suggesting that we are going to pay higher food prices because no one's picking our lettuce, or that our hospital rooms and our hotel rooms are not going to get their linen cleaned or washed. No one's going to be able to sweep up or mop up if we were to deport these illegals. But Mike makes the suggestion that we should employ the homeless and put them on farms for not just mental health, so when they have a place to stay and they contribute to the, hold on, Tim, let me finish, and that they contribute to the jobs that we are importing low-wage people to come in and do. Because if I'm doing anything, I would like to give the opportunity to the on-the-street American citizens, many of them veterans, who are living on our streets in towns and municipalities across the fruited plain. Now, tell me why you have a problem with that, because the only issue I heard was the words rounded up. But with the overall premise, do you have an issue with it?
Okay, I have lots of ones. First off, I have no idea what the word employed mean and all that sort of stuff. We're in Connecticut, so there's no farm work for December, January, and most of February whatsoever. You can't go out and plow up and pick things that are not growing here.
Okay.
In so many other states. So it's like, what are
wait,
they doing?
hold on. The farms are still in
a
existence. Wait a minute, hold on. The farms are still in existence in the same months you're talking about. And oh, by the way, migrants come to the southern border for those jobs during those same months as well. So what are you talking about?
Those the family farm, yes, is still in existence, but there's not, 1,000 of them in West.
Said the guy who owns or works at what farm?
What?
Said the guy who works or owns. I wasn't finished. I'm asking you a question. Said the guy who works or owns what farm?
I grew up in Oklahoma.
Okay, and what are you saying? Are you saying that?
Ranch.
Are you saying that
It's
your
a ranch
family
is a different thing?
Are you saying that your family, when you worked on a farm in Oklahoma, because you did work on a farm in Oklahoma, right? You're speaking from experience.
I worked on a ranch.
Oh, you worked on a ranch. Okay, can we talk about a farm then? Can we talk about a farm then? So at what point does the farm not
I can
operate?
talk about it in an intelligent manner.
At what point does the farm not operate? Hold on. At what point does the farm not operate? Do chickens not lay eggs in February?
You want the homeless people, a lot of those
how about just answering one question? How about answering one question? Do chickens not lay eggs in February?
You don't need thousands of
Okay,
people.
how
to be
about
collecting all
cows?
that
Do
stuff,
cows produce milk between
so are we
March
going to
and
house the
October?
people?
How about the cows?
Are we going to house those people in the cold?
Yes.
Are we going to keep them there?
Yes.
Are we going to not?
What are we doing with the migrants? What are we doing with the migrants?
Well, illegal migrants are not the same as U.S. citizens who
What?
happen to be homeless.
Hold on.
Or happen to live in their car.
Wait.
Are we going to get all
Tim,
the people out of the car?
Tim, stop for a second. You said that
I know,
homeless
I read the
people
Constitution.
Homeless people are
Yeah.
not the same as immigrants or illegals for that matter. Tell me how they're different. Do they have a different DNA? Are they subhuman or superhuman? Like what are they?
Actually, my wife was a visiting nurse, and many of the people.
You're boring the hell out of me.
If you're not going to be serious and not hear anything, you want to.
I can't with you. You're killing me. I love you, bro. I love you. Welcome back, man. I love you. John is in Wethersfield. How are we doing, John?
Hey, Reese, how you doing?
I'm all right, sir.
Hey, so about the JFK, RFK, and all that stuff.
Yes, Schlossenberg.
First of all, I don't care what the family says because this is about national security.
Indeed.
Okay. Now, when Trump first was president, he promised that he was going to release those documents.
Yeah.
Something happened that he didn't do.
Mike Pompeo talked him out of it.
Able to handle it.
Mike Pompeo talked him out of it.
Okay. Why did he do it now?
Because Mike Pompeo won. Because Mike Pompeo isn't in the one. He's not in the team anymore. He's not part of the administration anymore.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what I do believe happened in this case, John. You remember, I don't know if you do remember this, but right before Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump did their famous interview when Donald Trump started running at the beginning of the campaign, they started hanging out. So Donald Trump goes to do Tucker Carlson right after he leaves Fox News. And he was one of Tucker Carlson's big interviews when he started his own Tucker Carlson network. Well, right before then, Tucker Carlson was going everywhere talking about Mike Pompeo and the release of the JFK documents. So Tucker Carlson got into Donald Trump's ear and said to him, listen, we know that you didn't release them because Mike Pompeo told you otherwise. So Tucker Carlson gave him other information that says, listen, we believe the reason why Mike Pompeo told you not to release it is because we believe, or many people believe, that the CIA was involved. And that's the reason why you should. And we believe that Mike Pompeo told you not to because he was covering for the CIA. So Donald Trump looked into that and he promised. And other people got to him as well of that same ilk and said, yes, there is some credibility to what Tucker's talking about. And one of the things that actually lends itself to that theory is when Joe Biden released the documents about 2 years ago, we learned that the CIA had got about $105,000 from a notorious mob family, so they didn't have to report where it got the money from. And that lended, and once that was revealed, then everybody started to be suspicious that something underhanded was going on at the CIA.
So what you're saying is actually exactly is what it goes with my theory that the CIA did it, right? Because why would they kill RFK? That one never made any sense to me. Why did Saran kill RFK? That made no sense. He wasn't president. It just didn't make any sense.
But he was going to be, with the assassination of his brother, and it's 1968 and RFK is running, he's a shoo-in. I mean, let's be honest. He's a shoo-in.
So my thing is that something changed when they tried to kill Donald Trump. So therefore, Trump is a chess player. He's not playing checkers.
Right.
Everyone else is playing checkers. He's going to show what happened with those three, and then we're going to make that connection that that's what they tried to do to him.
Exactly. You're absolutely right that there is a correlation. Because if these documents reveal what Tucker Carlson and many others are talking about, and yes, I will say the name, he's not prohibited, what Alex Jones has been talking about, and many other so-called conspiracy theorists who have been saying about this, if it indeed turns out to be true, it lends itself to other conspiracy theories. The reason why people are stopping or want him not to reveal it is because it does the one thing that Donald Trump has been trying to do since he was inaugurated in 2017, and that is expose the deep state and the corruption within the bureaucracy to clean the swamp. This will certify that American people have no faith in their American government if it turns out that these documents reveal what many people have thought for so many years.
You know what's really crazy is that if you told me this 5-6 years ago, I would have just
exactly. You and I were listen to me. You and I were in the same boat 5 years ago. You and I were in the same place.
Now it's like I believe every conspiracy. I'm questioning 9/11 right now.
So am I.
I'm not kidding. I'm hearing.
No. I'm with you.
Yeah, well, maybe they're right.
You know what? And listen.
So I got a grievance also.
Go real quick.
Yeah. So my grievance is when people call up and they act like they're experts on stuff because, oh, no, there's no way that can happen. Because the guy who just called, I can't mention his name because I have no respect for him. But anyway, he goes, last week, he called and he was talking about Frank from, not Middletown, where is he from?
I can't remember. What, from Woodbridge?
Watertown, something like that. Big Frank. He was talking about Big Frank and he goes, oh, Big Frank called up and said that he was working construction. Well, the reason why he loved working construction was because it kept him away from the women and that he can smoke a cigar. And Tim was saying, oh, yeah, you can't smoke a cigar and work construction. Listen, Tim, I know you're listening. The next day I went to work in construction and I got a picture. If you want me to put it on Facebook, I'm smoking a cigar and working construction. And let me tell you something, Frank's on to something.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Much appreciated. Good grievance. It's an airing of Grievance Friday. Have at it. When we come back, more of that and the same. And, of course, I forget what we got coming up. I'm already gone. Anyway, let's get another check on your traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now and you're on the westbound side of 84, you got delays approaching the Boakley Bridge in East Hartford out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. Southbound 91 delays 33 to 32 A and B. Again, down by exit 28. Northbound 91, some slow traffic as you move between 20 and 22 in Cromwell. That was kicked off from an earlier accident. After that, good ride Hartford up into Windsor. 291, 384, okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. If you are heading 9 northbound, look out for some slow traffic as you approach exit 19 in Middletown on 9 North. If you're heading toward Waterbury, westbound 84 sluggish 26 to 25. If you're traveling on the southbound side of the Parkway, delays 62 down to 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound delays from 48 down to 43 in West Haven. 91 southbound slows from exit 4 in toward the 95 interchange in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, sunshine and a few clouds, the high of 34. Clear and bitter cold tonight, the low dropping down to 11. Now, over the weekend, sunny to partly cloudy on Saturday, just a touch colder, the high of 32. Sunday will be a breezy day with a mix of clouds and sun. Temperatures will be milder, but it's still going to feel quite cold, the high of 39. That breeze obviously making it feel much colder. Then Monday, partly sunny, breezy, the high of 35. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
5 o'clock, 29 degrees in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Bird flu has turned up in a backyard flock in New Haven County. State Department of Agriculture announced this afternoon it is the second detection of the H5N1 virus in domestic birds this year in the state. The state officials last week revealed that the virus was detected in a backyard flock in New London County. They say the premises have been quarantined, the affected birds euthanized. While the virus is contagious, health officials say the risk to humans is low, and there have been no cases reported in Connecticut thus far. Fire damage is a longtime fixture in the town of Bolton. Crews were called this morning to the scene on West Street, home to the Dean Cabinetry facility. Nearly a dozen departments responded to put the fire out at the sprawling complex, which broke out shortly after 7 a.m. Bolton Town Administrator James Rupert.
They've stayed true to their Bolton roots, and we really appreciate that.
Audio from WFSB. Those inside were able to make it out safely. Firefighters had to retrieve water from a nearby pond due to a lack of hydrants in that area. There's no word yet on a cause. Meantime, firefighters in Old Saybrook battled a blaze at a home on Otter Cove Drive Thursday night. That fire broke out around 7. There was a partial collapse of the structure. Crews had to retrieve water from nearby ponds due to a dearth of hydrants there. Those inside made it out safely. 2 firefighters, though, did sustain injuries because they slipped on the ice there, and they are still trying to determine the cause of that fire. Following a search in which Mayor Arunan Arulampalam said drew candidates from across the U.S. and beyond, Hartford will soon have its next chief of police, Tyrell McCoy, a captain on the Philadelphia police force, has been chosen to lead the capital city's department.
Many of the concerns that I've heard from the community members in the city of Philadelphia mirror some of the same opportunities that exist here in the city of Hartford. To speak with the mayor, to speak with members of the community here today really resonates because it shows me that there's an opportunity to grow.
McCoy has gone through the ranks of the Philly department as a sergeant, lieutenant, and in the Internal Affairs Division. The city council here will consider the nomination at its February 10th meeting. Leadership at the Hartford Public School system will be changing by year's end. Here's WTIC's Morgan Cunningham.
Dr. Leslie Torres Rodriguez is stepping down as superintendent at the end of the current academic year, even though her contract was extended to continue through June of next year. She's faced tough criticism in recent years over a $77 million budget deficit and challenges recruiting and retaining staff, while also fielding the threat of having to cut nearly 400 positions district-wide. Still, city officials like Mayor Aruna Naralampulam are thanking her for her leadership. In a written statement, Dr. Torres Rodriguez thanks who she's calling her incredible team, who remain steadfast in their commitment to all students. She started as Assistant Superintendent of Instructional Leadership in 2015 and has been superintendent since 2017. There's no word on how a search will look to find her replacement. Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
Senate votes tonight on Pete Hegseth's nomination to become Defense Secretary. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is a firm no.
We should not, cannot, must not elevate someone as erratic as Pete Hegseth to Secretary of Defense. We can and must do better. I urge my colleagues to vote no.
2 Republicans have said they'll vote no as well. If another follows suit, Vice President Vance may be needed to break a 50-50 tie. On Wall Street, markets finished this Friday down. The Dow lost 140 points. The NASDAQ shed 99, and the S&P was down 17 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and house is cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. No, you're going to hear about it.
It's an airing of Grievance Friday on Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. We'll take your phone calls after we check on our traffic, but I want to tell you that today we have, and every day next week, and maybe even the week after that, hell, it may be 100 days of the last but not least caller of the day who's receiving 1 dozen of bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Manchester, and Vernon. And now it is time for none other than, can I find it? There we go. Our bagel joke of the day. What did the bagel say before he was about to get eaten for breakfast? Excuse me, but I'd like to propose a toast. It's a brilliant joke. 97 more to go. You didn't even know that there were 100 bagel jokes. You didn't know. Don't worry. That's brought to you by Reese on the Radio. I would not want to sully the good name of Between Rounds with these jokes. I'm sorry. I'm a dad joke guy. I'm a corny joke guy. So I know that they're going to make everybody groan when I read them, but I don't care because these are funny to me, okay? Some of you do find it funny. Some of you do. You're either chuckling out of my embarrassment or you're chuckling because it's funny. I know you are. I want to say this because White Mike was in the chat room asking about this, about the release of the MLK, JFK, and RFK documents. White Mike said, is the government going to release all of the FBI data on MLK? I mean, including the communist connections and his, his Diddy-like parties. And look, again, for those of you who know, J. Edgar Hoover was very much involved in getting some dirt on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Many people believed that it was unwarranted. Many people thought it was, it was racially motivated. Could have been. I have no arguments there. But they did have dirt on him. So, yes, I wanted to say to White Mike, yes, the reason why they're pushing back MLK is because they know that all of the documents about Martin Luther King Jr. are going to be revealed, even the stuff they don't want you to know. So that's why they're pushing back. Let's get another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, did you know that there were 100 bagel jokes?
No, I didn't.
I'm doing them every day. I'm up to 97 now. I've got 97 left.
3.5 months of bagel jokes. Wow.
And they are all equally horrible.
All right. Wow. At least I know that I'm not gonna. At least my expectations are low. I'm not
very
gonna
low.
Very low. Raise the bar for them.
So if you actually get a chuckle out of one, it would be an accomplishment beyond compare.
I will have a laugh track ready to go if it's funny.
Okay, I'll give you another one. What do you call a plain bagel with? I've already screwed up. What do you call a bagel with wings?
Bagel with wings?
Yes.
A
plain bagel.
Angel? A plain bagel. A plain bagel.
Applaud me. It's brilliant.
There you go. Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Stand Up is coming soon for you, pal. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91's a little slow approaching.
Yeah, so is sit down.
Change after that.
What's that?
Moving well up.
I say, yeah, so is sit down.
So is sit down.
Bridge, out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Eastbound 84 delays 46 into the tunnel. 291, 384 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. 84 westbound a little tight 26 up to 25. If you are traveling toward New Haven southbound on the Parkway, delays from 62 down to 60. 95 southbound, you're slowing 48 down to 43 in West Haven. 91 southbound delays from 3 down in toward the 95 interchange in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clear and bitter cold tonight. The low down to 11. Then sunny to partly cloudy as we head through Saturday. Still cold, the high 32. Not as cold on Saturday night as recent nights. Partly cloudy, the low down to 21. Breezy Sunday, a mix of clouds and sun, the high up to 39. Then partly sunny on Monday. Still breezy, the high at 35. Will feel like the 20s with a strong southwest wind throughout the day. Right now, it is 33 in New Haven. It's 29 in Bristol. It's 30 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck, and we're now in the third week of the new year. Have you lost 16 pounds yet? If no, well, you probably didn't choose Awaken 180 weight loss. I lost 16 pounds my first 3 weeks alone. Switch it up and get your results at awaken180weightloss.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-239-1749. 800-239-1749 or biglou.com.
When you haven't found love,
1 minute.
everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song.
Take us up.
All the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The airing of grievances. Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
We're back. Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. And I just want to show some love to Melania Trump, if I may. Just want to show some love. If you're watching Reese on the radio at reeseontheradio.com, you see that picture of Melania. That's her in North Carolina on her way to California in a little bit with her husband, wearing what can be only described in the hip-hop world as a scully cap and a bubble goose, is what they call it. She's gone straight hip-hop as the new first lady, maybe very well getting close to the hip-hop pioneers that have been endorsing her husband. So now she is wearing a bubble goose, very similar of the 90s rap era of today. Let's get to the phones. We got plenty of people on hold today. Let's go to Mike in Plainville. How we doing, sir?
I'll never get tired of listening to Jerry Stiller.
Me either, man.
I remember him on Seinfeld when he accused Kramer of stealing his move.
Yes. You
remember?
That or
Kramer, I think Kramer used the move on his wife.
Yes, he made a move on his wife. But my other favorite thing was what was the name of the male bra? Was it called the brosier or the bro? Like it was called the manzier and the bro. That's how I remember that one.
That's it.
the manzier. That was such a great bit.
I got to tell you, Attorney General Tong, okay, and the governor, and all these poor souls in the state, okay, you should be on edge. You're bringing a Swiss Army knife to a gunfight. You're going to lose. You're going to get spanked.
They are. I tell you, listen, Mike, I said it earlier. It's nothing more than an opportunity to be in the papers. And then when people question and when people question them about them, they have these articles to then say, see, I was opposed. I didn't actually have to do any work, but I was opposed to this. This is like changing your status on social media. See, I cared about it. I wore the pin. I was for those people. Look at Lamont saying, the one thing I want to tell to the people of the state of Connecticut is that you're welcome here. I won't do anything to stop them from taking you, but I always wanted you here. I always wanted you to be a part of our great state. You are welcome here. So what are you going to do about the people that are going to be deported? Well, there's not really much I can do. I just want them to know that they were welcome here. That's all it was.
You know what? I just got a crazy idea. All those deactivated air bases and military reservations that were retrofitted, it looked like for holding areas.
Yeah.
Because they had all new fence lines put in, new closed-circuit TV security systems, and maybe they're going to use this to put the illegals in.
You know what? Listen, so far I've watched some video of some people that are going into Mexico right now, and they videotaped one of the guys talking. Of course, it was in Spanish, but he said his advice to anybody who's trying to cross the border, he says, don't come. Don't come. Sounds like Kamala Harris is warning to them. Don't come.
It's nice. It's nice to have Donald Trump back because he keeps his word. He's not wasting any time.
Indeed. That's right. Thank you, sir.
I like this guy.
Yeah, so do I.
If I was younger, I'd go and kick a few doors down myself.
I hear you. Let's go. Speaking of which, before I go to Jim in Wellington, there's a TikTok thing. And folks, if you have seen this on your social media, excuse me, I haven't been able to investigate this. So I'm imploring you to find it. Apparently, there is a memo going out to, I want to say Chicago. I'm not positive, but I think it's Chicago. I'll look it up again, and maybe I'll talk about it next week. But I believe that there's some bounty, as it were, like you can call a number and report individuals to ICE. I don't know if this is true. I think that that's a little dangerous. But I don't know whether or not it's actually happening. So if you know anything about this or you've seen anything about this, get in touch with me and send me a memo at reeseontheradio.com because I've been looking it up and I haven't been able to find out whether or not it's true. Social media, you know how that goes. All right, so let me know. Excuse me. Go to Jim in Wellington. How we doing, Jim?
Yes, sir. I'll tell you what, homeless, working, etc. You talked about, I guess you were talking about picking fruit, etc., moving them to places to pick fruit. I'll tell you what, you don't have to pick fruit with people you're trying to help. You can go to Bridgeport or Hartford or Baltimore or St. Louis, New York City, pick a borough, Los Angeles, etc. There's more than enough to do in those cities to help clean them up.
Indeed.
And the secret to me, the stability issue starts first.
You know what? There's a good point that you're making, Jim, because again, all you'd have to do, what the state budget could do, and I think that the federal government would help them do it, you expand the sanitation department, right?
Well, you know what I call it? I'm sorry. I call it, it's a humanitarian crisis, pure and simple, and nobody.
Okay, I think did you just, okay, there you go, Jim. I'm sorry. You got cut off. Go ahead, sir.
No, I'm sorry. To me, it's a humanitarian crisis.
Right.
And if you can get housing, to me, it just blows my mind that we can't utilize hundreds of thousands of square feet in buildings that are empty, especially in New York City.
Right.
Or we can't build 40 or 50 or 60 small type, for better types of shelters,
right,
hot and cold running water, etc., and do that across the board. And once you get stabilization in that type of housing for the people that don't have no place to go,
right,
now you can start dispersing them out amongst the cities.
Exactly.
To do whatever the cities need.
Exactly. And again, expand. And you're 100% right about towns like Baltimore, especially towns like San Francisco. Expand the sanitation department so they can hire more people to do exactly what, because sanitation, if you really think about it, it's working at the land mills and collecting garbage. But if you have a city that's absolutely dirty, or let's say you have a city that needs landscaping and things like that, don't hire construction workers to do that. Hire sanitation, expand the sanitation budget, and get those people to do those jobs.
Well, okay. Well, let me throw this at you, and then I'll get off the air because I know you have other people.
Yes, sir.
You pick a neighborhood in Baltimore.
Indeed.
Row after row of houses, no roofs, blown out windows, etc. You bring a bunch of people into that neighborhood to clean it up, make it so that the roofs can get fixed. The people that are able are being tutored by carpenters, etc., to fix the roofs, fix the windows, get them to the point where they can at least be cleaned up and secured. You have now started a process where you can move it to other neighborhoods with the same amount of people, and eventually you can start turning those properties that are now cleaned up, the garbage is gone, etc., into housing.
And sell it to the people who are cleaning up the towns or the neighborhoods. Sell it directly to them at below market rate, and put them in houses. Because remember, if they beautify the community, they'll keep it that way.
It doesn't even have to be a beautification. What it has to be is clean up the blight, secure the building if it can be secured, get rid of all the garbage, get a roof on it so it's weathertight and windows or whatever, move on to the next place, the next place, the next place. At some point, you start fixing these places up. And at some point, they all become places for somebody to live.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And of course, you start with the homeless.
If we're looking at the budgets, that are being spent on illegals coming into these states and cities, we could have used that money to do exactly what you're talking about, and then some. We could have done it 1,000 times over.
Well, can I end with one other note?
Go ahead, real quick.
We have no problem putting illegal aliens into hotels quickly.
Exactly.
We can do it quickly.
Exactly.
But we don't have a thought to do the same thing with the American citizens.
Indeed, you're 100% right. Doc is in Harwington. How we doing, Doc?
Good. My grievance is against people like Tim from wherever the heck he's from. He may have lived on a ranch growing up, but he sure as hell didn't work on it.
Listen, again, I don't understand how he doesn't, first of all, a farm isn't, it doesn't shut down in the winter months at all. There are plenty of things to do, and people are still up at 4 in the morning on farms.
Cows still need to be milked.
Yep.
Beef cattle still need to be moved around. That's when you fix equipment.
Exactly.
I mean, he's ignorant.
Here's what his problem is. His problem is this. He only had one real problem. He didn't like the word rounded up, which again is the total missing the whole thing. He heard the word rounded up and he was immediately triggered. That's all. His ears perked up. Rounded up? That sounds nefarious. And then, of course, he gets on his soapbox. That's all it was about. It's sad, but that's all it was about. It's true.
And that's why I say he's ignorant, because sometimes you have to take yourself away from the knee-jerk reaction.
Exactly.
He never does. He never does. And you're trying to talk to him, and he's talking over you, telling you to stop talking over him.
Yeah, and it's okay. Listen to me. It's a reason why he barely ever calls. But you know what? It's nice when he does now and again. I miss the guy, to be honest with you.
Really? Yes. I miss him like a toothache or a hemorrhoid. Actually, I miss him like a hemorrhoid.
Oh, you guys have been without him too long. Thank you, Doc. I appreciate you, sir. Let's go to Steve in Springfield. How we doing, Steve? Steve, you there? Okay, Steve's out of frame, but that's okay. We'll get to him. My good friend Fritz the cat is in the house. What's going on, Fritz?
What's up there, Reese? I was going to yell at Tim, too, but he kind of took care of that for me. I could just say, though, that it's not my grievance, but during the wintertime, the farm's got to do milk. They got to do eggs. Yep. Right now, they're out there tapping maple trees.
Mm-hmm.
Connecticut is a huge producer of all of it, even honey. We don't do that in the winter. It's springtime. That's the next thing after maple syrup.
Right.
My grievance is December 11th, 2023.
Okay.
A man was crossing the turnpike.
Right.
Was hit by a car. Car killed him. Was going 65 miles an hour.
Wow.
That day, all the Whigs from Hartford were standing out there, the senators going, we need to do something about safety on the turnpike. We've got to fix this and fix that. And it happened because the pedestrian walk is broken.
Wow.
It's not fixed yet.
And wait a minute.
That's my grievance.
So wait a minute. So how many people? So the women, the crosswalk has not been fixed yet. We're talking about. Are we just talking about the crosswalk or the light fixture
right there?
Okay, so it hasn't been fixed.
Work. You push the button, nothing happens. So you're crossing
really
traffic on a highway to go across the street. You want to go to Mobile Dunkin' Donuts. There's a motel over here on this side. So these people, some of them don't have cars. They walk across the turnpike in the dark. That's what happens.
Let me ask you this. And again, I'm only asking this not because Fritz will know, but somebody will know. Let me tell you a quick story that I remember back in the day. And this happened actually. I know I've talked about this on the air. You would probably remember when I did. But on the corner of the street that we worked on for U-Haul in Connecticut, in Virginia, we had this one crosswalk where we had a lot of accidents. And it was always because there's no light. And people are always zooming down the main road, and the intersection is sort of like a T. And everyone who tries to get out of that area ends up getting into a sort of T-bone accident. And then when I started to witness, when I worked in the office for about 2 years, I started to witness a lot of accidents there. And I kept saying, now, look, this seems to be a driving hazard. Why doesn't anybody put a stoplight here? And someone said to me, and I thought they were kidding, they said, well, you need 3 fatalities in order for a stoplight to go on.
Geez.
I'll never forget it. And sure enough,
wow.
I looked into it because I thought somebody was just telling, an old wives' tale. So I looked into it, and it turns out that is the rule in Northern Virginia, at least in Prince William County, that there must be 3 fatalities for them to consider putting a stoplight in that section because then they deem it as dangerous. So I'm like, wait a minute, you need people to die in order for that to happen? So I'm wondering, in your case, when they know that something's happening in that area and a fatality is there, why wouldn't, because if my question would be, wouldn't a family sort of seek litigation in some way if someone was fatally killed at a crosswalk that the button didn't work on? Because you put the button there to ensure the safety of the pedestrian. If it's not operational, that's a liability.
He didn't bother using it. Exactly. He knew it didn't work, so he didn't bother using it.
Oh, he knew it didn't work.
The most convenient way across the road out there. And it was rainy, and the driver was in charge. I couldn't see him. Hit the guy 65 miles an hour. Can you just imagine?
Wow. What's the speed limit in that area?
To Turnpike, I believe it's 50, but people go 65. 70.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, somebody.
You can look that story up online if you want.
No, I saw it. I saw it as soon as you posted it. I immediately looked at it as soon as you posted it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I posted it on your thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was going to call in.
Oh, no, dude. Everybody who posts something on the chat room, I check it out. So I appreciate it, sir. All right.
That was it, Reese. Thank you so much.
You got it, sir. And let's see if we could get somebody to pay attention to that and get that thing fixed, man. Because the more attention to it, somebody's got to step up and do it. We can't have somebody die in vain. Let's make sure everything is taken care of. Well, I'll get some more information about it and see if we could get some people on it. All right, stick around. We got more news, more views, your airing of grievances. And don't forget, we've got the last but not caller of the day who's going to win a dozen bagels for a month for 6 months from between rounds. Now let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford westbound side of 84, you've got delays now approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing, approaching 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 91 southbound a little slow, 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91, some slow traffic approaching 21 in Cromwell. After that, you'll see a good ride up into Hartford, up into Windsor. 291, 384, okay. 2 westbound's a little slow at the 84 West merge in East Hartford. Quiet Middletown. Heading into Waterbury, that looks good, 84 and 8. A little slow, 84 eastbound in Newtown, 10 to 11. Southbound Parkway, you've got, looks like an accident now on the Parkway southbound by exit 62. So look out for delays back to exit 63 in North Haven behind that. And you'll see another bump as you move down between exit 60 and the West Rock Tunnel. Southbound 91 in New Haven slowing 4 in toward the 95 interchange. 95 southbound's tight, 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clear skies and bitter cold temps tonight with the low down to 11 degrees. Sunny to partly cloudy for Saturday. Still cold, the high 32. Partly cloudy Saturday night. Not as cold as recent nights, though, with the low down to 21. Then breezy on Sunday with a blend of sun and clouds, the high of 39, though it'll feel much colder with a west-southwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Then Monday, partly sunny, still breezy, the high 35 will feel like the 20s at best with a strong southwest wind, still at 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Tuesday, breezy, lots of clouds, snow shower in the afternoon. Again, the high 40 going to feel a lot colder, west-southwest wind still at 10 to 20. Wednesday, cloudy, colder, couple of snow showers, the high only 29. Then brisk and cold Thursday, plenty of sun, the high 23. You'll feel like the teens with the northwest winds throughout the day on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Fire damages a longtime fixture in the town of Bolton. Crews called earlier this morning to a cabinetry on West Street. No injuries reported. State Department of Agriculture reporting a case of bird flu in New Haven County. The department says H5N1 turned up in a backyard flock. It was last week that officials reported the virus in a flock in New London County. There have been no human cases of bird flu reported in the state of Connecticut. President Trump says he is considering doing away with FEMA. Made the comments while touring North Carolina today, the devastation there left behind from Hurricane Helene. Fire routes a fixture in town. We told you about that in Berlin. There was another fire last night in Old Saybrook. This one broke out in a sprawling home on Otter Cove Drive. A partial collapse there, but no injuries reported. Connecticut set to award $5.9 million to the family of a disabled man who served a quarter century in prison before his murder conviction was overturned. State Claims Commissioner issued the wrongful incarceration award in the case of Richard LaPointe. After years of legal battles between his lawyers and the state, LaPointe, who had a mental disability, died in 2020 at the age of 74, 5 years after the state Supreme Court overturned his conviction in the 1987 killing of his wife's 88-year-old grandmother. Woman dead following a wrong-way crash last night in Hartford. State police say 23-year-old Kelly Caldwell of Vernon was traveling the wrong way on routes 5 and 15 northbound when she hit a vehicle in the opposite direction near exit 90. Dow was down 140 points today on Wall Street. NASDAQ lost 90 and the S&P down 17. NBA locals idled tonight. NHL, the Isles host Philadelphia. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Technological advances speed all things up, including dental care. Columbia Implant Center in Manchester takes full advantage of this technology to bring better, faster service and better results in one day, the same day, 7 days a week. We have the specialists, the facility, and the technological expertise to provide and complete the treatment today. Call Columbia Implant Center at 860-730-6020 or visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
1 minute.
Don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your inflation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
I still don't know what had happened was.
What had happened was.
It's What Had Happened Was. Brought to you by the Odyssey app. Make sure you download the Odyssey app today, in case you missed this show or any other ones for that matter. So today on the show, we broke down the University of New Hampshire's Nutmeg State poll. Please go back and watch or listen to that portion of the show. It says that 73% of people in the Nutmeg State are upset about the direction of the country, even though the president has been in office for 4 days. It also has some other interesting facts in there, which you will love to hear, especially the breakdown of people that they actually polled. It's an incredible poll that they put out, and I think it's almost stupid because it suggests that the people in Connecticut are dumb. And people should want better for themselves, so maybe, contact the University of New Hampshire and let them know that they are, crazy. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, but I also mentioned, and this is a story that really, really bothers the crap out of me, is that people who are upset, the family members of John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr., who do not want or seem to be miffed at the idea of releasing documents on those assassinations, where people have been wanting that info for some 60 years. And to hear these people talk about it, or at least to suggest that Donald Trump is doing something nefarious by doing that, telling the American people what happened to an American president and the premier civil rights leader of any lifetime, Martin Luther King Jr., it seems to be, I don't know, I don't know. I don't seem to understand it. So talk about that. And, of course, you can listen to some of the phone calls related to that as well. And you could go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com, so that you can read the article yourself about the grandson of John F. Kennedy. His name is Jack Schlossberg, pictured right there over my my left shoulder. He's one of the people who are saying that John F. Kennedy's release of his assassination classified information is being revealed without him having the ability to punch back, which makes no sense to me. Why would he need to punch back over information about his murderer or who murdered him, or people who are responsible for it? I feel like these people actually are part of the cover-up in some weird way. So anyway, I'll talk a little bit more about that. I was supposed to talk about The Woking Dead, because I got plenty of stuff on that. Maybe I'll save it for the Sunday show. If not, we'll talk about it on Monday unless something else happens. I am looking forward to Donald Trump's arrival in California. I thought he would have been there already, but he's on his way to Los Angeles, and we hear that Gavin Newsom is going to be there, uninvited. So I can't wait to see how that exchange goes. That is going to be something worth watching. So that is what had happened was, again, download the Odyssey app so you never miss a moment of the show or Tom Shattuck Show or Brian and Company or any of our fine guests here on WTIC. All right, we'll get to your phone calls. And don't forget, we have got the last but not least caller of the day who will win 1 dozen bagels a month for 6 months. And don't forget, I've got more bagel jokes. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
More?
Of course I
There's
have
more?
There's
More
100.
bagel jokes. Stay tuned. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91, some tight traffic between 20 and 21 as you move Middletown into Cromwell. Another bump as you move between 23 and 24 in Rocky Hill. We have an accident or a disabled vehicle. Looks like state police are working in the left lane there, so that's the delay with that. Now, if you are heading into the westbound side of 84 into Hartford, you got delays coming out of the tunnel out to 46 Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing, approaching 46 up into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay, it's the river 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury 84 eastbound a little slow by 18. 84 eastbound in Newtown slowing 10 to 11. Southbound on the 91 is tight from exit 3 in toward the 95 interchange. 95 southbound slowing in New Haven 46 down to exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clear and quite cold tonight. The low dropping down to 11. Then sunny to partly cloudy Saturday. Still cold, the high 32. Partly cloudy Saturday night. Not as cold as recent nights. The low will be down to 21. Breezy day on Sunday. The high up to 39 with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Monday, partly sunny, breezy, the high 35. Going to feel like the 20s with a strong southwest wind. And Tuesday, still breezy, lots of clouds, snow shower in the afternoon. The high of 40 on Tuesday. Right now, it's 31 in Danbury, 31 in Bridgeport, 33 in New Haven, and 30 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or at CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/radio. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
We all hear the radio ads about
1 minute.
They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today. Online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
We are almost out of here, and I want to read some of the comments in the chat room, which I thought were interesting. Lori actually mentioned, said the MLK family is asked to see the information ahead of the media and the public, which I say no. You can get the information, but we're all going to see it along with you. Because again, I think that that's another, and I know that it's because of what White Mike said, is that they don't want it revealed about the, the sordid details of MLK's life that may be in those documents. So yeah, and there's a likelihood that it's there, but we should know the truth, all of it. And it's never going to change who Martin Luther King Jr. is. That's never going to happen. It's just, it's going to be fine. He'll be all right. That's all I'm saying. He's going to be fine. What was the other thing? There was another one in here that I wanted to say. Oh, you know what I was thinking of? Roland, are you familiar with Del the Funky Homo Sapien? Have you ever heard of him?
I heard of him before.
Okay. He's Ice Cube's cousin, right?
I did not.
Yeah, he's Ice Cube's cousin. That's kind of how he got put on. So he used to have this one song that was very popular. It was called Bob Dabalina. Do you remember that song at all? No. Doesn't ring a bell? Okay, it's like
No,
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. So the reason why I bring it up is because every time Jason Caterina comes in to do the weather, I can't stop singing in my head, Jason Caterina, Mr. J. Caterina. Reason. And I know Bob, I know that Jason Caterina knows a lot of music of that era. So I'm just telling you, Jason, if you're listening, every time I hear your name, that song pops into my head because it just blends perfectly. Jason Caterina, Mr. J. Caterina. I sing it every time you say your name. And it is an earworm that I'm stuck with. So I wanted Jason to know that his name just immediately makes me think of Bob Dabalina. This at random. Let's get to the phone calls. There's plenty of people on hold who don't want to hear my nonsense. Kim is in Cromwell. How we doing, Kim?
Okay, I'm just going to read off some points here, things going on. I urge people to still be vigilant. We had a good first week. Okay, I have seen on YouTube all day a lot of deportations going on, some going automatically over the border, some on flights, buses. Others it will be some paperwork. The United States has about 400 C-17s and C-130s, which are the largest planes.
Yep.
To get these people across. According to one research site I looked at, they say the number of illegals that came over is more like 11 million.
I believe
in the last 4 years.
I believe it.
I think that makes more sense, and it's better if it's 11 million. I think they know what they're doing in tracking these people because of all the little apps, the cell phone registration, and the sanctuary cities. Where the pastor was wrong, most agriculture today is mechanized, okay? And if she is advocating that it's okay to allow people to come in to pick our crops and pay them an inhumane, subpar wage, that is no different than encouraging slavery.
Indeed. Couldn't agree. Thank you for saying that, Kim, because that's been on my mind all day.
We do need E-Verify on the federal level. I think a good place to place homeless from our state is use old retail buildings that are just vacant out there.
Indeed.
And very important for the folks, if you have the chance meeting your lawmakers, given that the session is underway, keep the pressure on in case we have some higher powers that are wanting to go against a executive order. I would advocate for their arrest over and over and over again. They cannot place themselves above the law because don't forget, these were the same clowns that were willing to order us into electrical vehicles.
They sure enough were. Thank you, Kim.
And yes, I do think all those files from the assassinations should be released, because I do think the government was in on it, and they're trying to say they don't want to think that the government could do such a thing. We do know that J. Edgar Hoover did hate Martin Luther King,
And
like you wouldn't believe.
Oh yeah, we're well aware of that. Thank you. And we also know that Jackie Kennedy did not like Martin Luther King Jr. either. She was not a big fan. Let's go to Stephen Waterbury. How we doing, Steve?
I'm doing well, Reese. Got three things really quick. First of all, those tweets I sent to you, do you appreciate most of them?
I love them. It sucks that I get to them after the show because I can't, because it's way too many during the show and I get distracted because you put me down a rabbit hole every time.
Don't worry about it. I try to gear things to people's liking. That's what I'm asking.
I appreciate it.
But that being said, I appreciate that. Okay. My mom and dad got married in Italy. He was there after, he was, at the end of the war.
Uh-huh.
So they got married. My mom was Italian. And when they came to the United States, they went over to Niagara Falls as their honeymoon, I guess they were celebrating.
Very popular at the time.
So, absolutely. And somehow they crossed the border. And my mom did not have a passport.
Ooh.
They did not want to let her back into the United States.
Really?
And, she was married, so the whole bit. So I just kind of was thinking about that the other day and looking at how, everybody's.
Here's the crazy part. You know what you just,
Mexico probably wouldn't.
You just actually sparked something in me that I thought was very odd. So you're saying that right after the war, and I'm assuming you mean the World War II, right? Or are you talking about Vietnam?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yep.
So after World War II, your folks get married.
No, World War II.
Okay, so World War II, they go to Niagara Falls, which is right where there's what's called the Horseshoe Falls, which is right across the border at Niagara Falls. There is a U.S. side and a Canadian side. I know it well because I used to live in Buffalo, and I've been to the Canadian side at the Horseshoe Falls. And Clinton Hill is the actual name of the town right there in Canada at the Horseshoe Falls. So when I went there at the time, it was in the late 90s, so 96 through 98. I used to travel back and forth, going to Toronto and going to the Falls. Anyway, do you know that how I got across? And this is, again, way after your folks got married in the 90s. I would get across that with a birth certificate, not a passport. It was only after September 11th. Yeah, only after September 11th, you had to have a passport. Is that wild?
Right, yep, because of everything that went on.
Yep.
Absolutely. Now,
I'm just
back to JFK and Martin Luther. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Martin Luther King Jr., yes.
Is that so? Yep. Jr. and whatnot. I just hope Geraldo Rivera is not the one that reveals it to the nation. I'm trying to think of like what happened with the Safe from Al Capone.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm hoping that doesn't happen. That would be.
I'm thinking that these people, especially people on Kennedy's side, especially, you've never even heard of him before. That's protesting this.
Yeah,
I think he's just trying to get in the news, basically.
Yeah, and exactly right.
Committed suicide, which we know didn't.
You're 100% right about. You're 100% right about that. About his grandson. I think he's doing that just to get his name in the paper. Let's go to Mike in Thomaston. How we doing, Mike?
Hey, Reese, how are you?
I'm good, sir. What do you got?
What really bugs me is Facebook blocked me putting up the photos that I sent you earlier.
Yes.
Of all these books that are in the Rainbow Library that are provided to these schools free of charge by that group Listen.
So wait a minute. Now this is what I think you should do. By the way, this is Michael B from the Scallywags in the chat room. Michael B, here's how you've got to respond to that. You're 100% right. Let me give you some background here. So Michael B, in essence, is just putting up the books that Bob Duff is advocating for in the library in Connecticut schools, saying that books like Gender Queer, who have graphic illustrations of oral sex between boys, okay, that's what it is. And what Michael B did was post those on Facebook to give attention to this is what Bob Duff is advocating for. Now, Facebook is saying that those images are pornographic. So what I would do is twofold. One, I would counter Facebook's problem with you posting them and then direct them to Bob Duff's Twitter page and to his social media page and say this is being advocated. What you call pornography is being advocated by a public official in Connecticut.
The funny thing about it is the photo was flagged right next to a photo of Bob Duff's response to Libs of TikTok.
Yeah, I would, like I said, I would contact both of them.
Political post.
I would contact both of them. In fact, when the information that was flagged, what I would do is I would send that link, if not a screenshot of that flag, and send that to Bob Duff and say, Bob, what you're advocating, social media deems pornographic. What does this say about your...
They got me locked up for another 48-hour stint for it.
That's okay. That's all right. Listen, no time like the present. As soon as you get yourself out of there, immediately go, listen, get a screenshot of that, send it to me. We'll take care of the rest. I'll make sure Bob Duff gets it. Send it to me.
All right.
You got it.
I'll
Thank
have
you.
it to you.
You got it. Thank you, sir. Let's go to Dave in Windsor Locks. How we doing, Dave?
Hey, how you doing, Reese? You know what? I got an agenda here to talk about, but your Bob Dabalina thing threw me off big time. I work with an old timer. He's a boomer. And I call him Bob Dabalina, and he asked me one time, he goes, why do you call me that? I go, you have no idea.
Oh, it's such a great song, right?
And I played it for him one time. He started laughing. That's all.
Yeah, it is a good song. What do you got for me, sir?
Okay, so the Kennedy thing, the old saying, loose lips sink ships.
Yes.
Can directly, for this reason, why they haven't returned all the evidence to the Kennedy, MLK, anything. This is my point, I said to someone today, because they wanted to know why. And I said, you know what? The investigation for the assassination of a president, a president-to-be, and MLK. So I said, taxpayers paid for that investigation to happen. We all paid for it.
Indeed.
So when the investigation was over, all the taxpayers should have been seeing exactly the evidence.
Absolutely, that we paid for. That we paid for.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And when someone said to me, why do we, and I understand loose lips sink ships. When you come to the military, I get it. You got to leave things a little classified. You have to understand. But when it comes to an assassination, why don't all the taxpayers get to see all the evidence?
I think, you know what? I think that argument is going to be over at this point. I think all of the, screaming and hollering coming from the MLK family, they knew Donald Trump wanted to do this. Joe Biden even released some information before of John F. Kennedy. No one said a word. It's because it's Donald Trump. And it's the whole argument about, Donald Trump and cancer.
They're mad that he's doing it.
Exactly, because they
and
know.
It should have been done a long time ago.
Exactly. But see, remember, Donald Trump releasing this information gives Donald Trump credibility with everyone. Because no matter what your stripe, you want this information out because there's something in you, whether you're blue or you're red or independent, something about not releasing this has got you intrigued. And Donald Trump releasing that to you knows he gets credit for it, that if he's done it. And everyone is angry because they know that he's the only one who's done it. And him being the only one who's done it destroys their credibility and maintains his.
It's funny you say that because I tell people all the time, the reason why Donald Trump is our true savior because he's not a politician.
Right.
Everyone else that's come before him, the only thing they've ever done in life is been a politician.
Indeed, he's not beholden to any one of them.
They're lazy asses, is what I'm saying. This guy had to break his balls to make his life and actually produce dollars.
Yeah, indeed.
Politicians never produce dollars.
Indeed. Dave, you got to hold on for me.
They rely on the incoming flow and that's it. And I say it all. My mother hates me because I love Donald Trump now.
Dave, you got to hold on because you are last but not least caller, sir. Congratulations. Sorry I couldn't get to anybody else. But that's okay. We're doing it every day of the week. Dave is now the recipient of our 1 dozen bagels for a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the bagel bakery and sandwich cafe, located in South Windsor and Manchester and in Vernon. All right, we'll see you guys next week. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You, like and share the program with a bunch of your friends. Let them know that there's some crazy black guy talking politics on WTIC. He's Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. There he goes. Yeah.
Chicken. Have a great weekend, Reese. Hey, if you're heading 91 northbound, I'm going to turn this off. You're a little slow as you move on. 21.
All right, sir. You enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, man. You too.
It's full of. Let's see if we can wrap it up. This it's coming to the end for the betting.
Yeah, it's almost there.
We can make it a fantastic weekend. Let's see if we can do that.
You got it. Thanks, man.
All right. See you Monday.
All right, man.
Southbound 91 looks good now from Windsor down into Cromwell. If you're traveling 84 eastbound, some slow traffic, 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84 is looking good, Vernon through downtown out into Farmington. 291 through 84, okay, so the River 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro.
I got to wait and see if Jason Caterino responds.
From 22 into the Mixmaster.
No. It's a recording for this.
Oh, is it recording today?
Southbound
It's recording. It's one live, one recording, back and forth.
Oh, okay. So he didn't. Oh, so this one's recorded then.
In West.
Yeah, this is a recording.
Together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For tonight, under clear skies, bitter cold, the low down to 11 degrees, then sunny to partly cloudy. Cold on Saturday, the high of 32.
I'll get you on Monday,
cloudy,
Craig. I promise.
Cold Saturday night as recent nights, the low down to 21. Breezy on Sunday with a mix of clouds and sun. That high 39 will feel a lot colder with the west-southwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour.
All right, I promise I'll get you on Monday. I'm wondering if Rob Reiner started a fire since he's going to ignite himself. Damn, Lori. All right, Scallywags, you guys be good. The weather is going to get better next week. I'm assuming as much. I love you guys. Y'all be good.